Welcome back to the Thinking Critical Comic Book Podcast. It's time for the best down comic book related show on YouTube and podcasts and all that good stuff. It's time for the Comics Aficionados. We've had a week full of interesting interactions between fans and comic creators we're going to get into. We had a bunch of different incidences. We had Dan Slott with my buddy Jimmy. We had Tom King getting someone kicked out of a con that might not have even happened. And we had the Bill Sienkiewicz Facebook stuff, but we had a lot of other interesting stuff. We had the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer that looks really good. Superman 78, which kicks so much ass, it's not even funny. We've also got some impending issues, probably with DC Comics and other publishers as far as supply chains. And here with me to talk about that is the best panel I could put together on such short notice. No?
Well, yeah.
First up, we do have returning for the first time in, like 3 weeks? It's been 4 weeks. Drew has been out on the con circuit with Comics Elite. How you doing, Drew?
I am exhausted. It's nice to take a Saturday off and sit down and relax.
Absolutely. Welcome back. How did the selling go? Did you sell a lot of comic books?
Yes, we did. We sold a lot. We bought a lot and we sold a lot. And they went very well. Rode hard the past month or so.
Looks like we're already getting questions, though, about where the pigeon is.
It's raining out. The pigeons are not around here right now. It's raining. The doors are closed. So next weekend, we'll see what happens.
Also returning, we haven't seen Perch for almost 2 months here on the channel. Perch, I know you were out and about. You've been a busy man. I'm glad you could make it back and talk with some nerd stuff with us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to be back. I've been in the last couple of days, people messaging me saying, "Oh, you and Wes are having a feud." I guess they haven't noticed that we've done videos together, but okay, that's fine. Yeah. So we settled.
We're feuding.
We're back. Yeah.
Oh, well, they're not going to like our Inconvenient Truths video that comes out tomorrow.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You guys are feuding very wrong. You're not doing great.
Right.
I had no clue, though. All right.
News to me. Yeah.
I'm beefing with Perch. I like it.
Yeah.
Let's see how dirty we can get here. Next up, we do have Kerry from Nerdygirlcreates. How you doing, Kerry?
Good. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How's it going with your troll?
Haven't seen him in a few days, but yeah.
All right. Well, maybe you shoot your troll off. She had someone go into the comments on her video. Just every time they were just busting your chops, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, it happens. That lets you know you arrived, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Next up, we've got the Batman aficionado, Josh McDonald, the man behind PopMyCulture.com. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing well. I'm a little disappointed. I don't have a feud. I don't have a troll. Like, I'm not doing something right over here.
You got to get some beef going, man.
Apparently.
And who else we got? We got the co-host of Comics Aficionados, the man that everyone's going to act like they side with just to annoy the crap out of me, Doc. How you doing, Doc?
Fuck yes. I'm always right. That's why. Because I'm always right.
Oh, man, Darth Bobcat's got a point here. I forgot about this. Perch, you got one of them Substack grants?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's
wow.
true. Yeah, I took the money. Sold out. It's great. These guys. So, by the way, this was a joke. I don't think that everybody understood this. It was a joke. I did this. I signed up as a joke. I am currently sitting at over 5,000 subs. You're going to make me do something with this. Like, why?
You're charging 5,000 people nothing?
That's right.
Money for nothing? I love it.
It's absolutely. I have no idea what to do with this stupid thing now. But anyway, there you go.
I've paid $5 for subscription to purchase Substack, but he hasn't produced anything in months. I'm holding out.
That's oh well. There you go.
We've also got Eric Canetti in the comments. Good to see Eric. He's got his big Arc Athena project coming out next month in about 3 weeks' time. So definitely be on the lookout for that. That's going to be a huge success. Congratulations to Eric. I've seen the preview art, and it's absolutely fantastic. We've got Chuck Skills in the house. The best comic show in the multiverse, omniverse, 10 realms, wherever you are, smash the like button. Absolutely. You're going to love this show. Definitely give us a pre-smash on that like button. Let everyone know that you're having fun. We got some good stuff to talk about in here. And thank you very much for supporting the channel. Chuck Skills. Man, that's a damn good handle right there. I wish I could be that cool.
I love that name.
It is.
I love
It's almost as good as remember Albino Thunder Puns?
Yes, Albino Thunder Buns.
Gosh,
Darth Bobcat's a pretty awesome name too.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. That one's solid as well. So let's get into this weird thing that's happening. We got all these creators bullying customers, stories that have been coming out. We initially had Tom King bragging about kicking a customer out of Amazing Con. Sounds like that might have, or no, I'm sorry, Awesome Con. Sounds like that might not have happened. We had Dan Slott essentially bullying our friend Jimmy from Comic Quirks into submission, went into his DMs to change his Twitter timeline. Seemed like I don't know, seemed pretty lame. What else? We had Aaron Lopresti launched his Indiegogo campaign. They actually started targeting his wife. It's such a weird thing. And then we had the Bill Sienkiewicz post getting taken down from Facebook. So it's been an eventful week. Perch, I know. Where does this? Is this just a coincidence that this is all happening at once, or is there something that's causing people to go crazy?
I mean, I think this is a reaction to all the changes that are going on right now. I think Substack and all
They saw you signed up with Substack.
Yeah, no, I think that helps. I think there's money going in. The big two are pushing pay cuts on some people. There's a lot that's happening. I think that's raising anxiety, and I think this is some of the result. I think that even outside of comics, I think some of the politics and other things are going on. It's just making people nuts. You see all around people are behaving and acting weirder and weirder, and that's what you got. The only thing about everything you just mentioned, by the way, that wasn't a terrible surprise, and I was watching it kind of. I mean, who didn't see Dan Slott coming? I mean, first of all, he does this. He's been doing it for years. Like people are like, I can't believe he did this. Like, yes, you can.
Yes, you absolutely can. He does it to everybody.
He used to make up screen names on CBR so he could argue with himself. And I mean, and he admitted doing this. This isn't like some conspiracy thing. So, I mean, I was watching, I felt bad for Jimmy, but I'm like, this is by complete lack of surprise.
Absolutely. And even Larry Comics said that Larry from Larry's Comics came out and said, yeah, I had Dan in my DMs like last year telling me who I couldn't follow on Twitter. Yeah. It's so weird how these things happen.
This is not new on any stretch of imagination. I mean, the question mark for me, because I saw all the people responding and posting, it's like, block the guy. I mean, at this point, what are you doing? Like, why are we even bothering with this?
Absolutely. Chuck Skills has a theory. Onslaught is making them do it.
He stole my fucking joke.
I'm sorry, buddy. I couldn't read your mind.
I know. I did. I was waiting to get to it, and I was like, maybe it was Onslaught. That's going to be their excuse.
Wow. I think you stole that one from Chuck Skills, if I'm being honest. I don't think you got what it takes to come up with a joke like that.
Oh.
We've got Wolfstein 3D here. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you have stuff in your life, deal with it. Address it. Don't harass others or their significant others on social media. Absolutely. Deal with your own stuff. There's no reason to project your own issues on other people. We've got Darth Bobcat supporting the channel. Most people's Twitter persona is obnoxious jerk. Dan Slott's is Slotto. What is it?
Slotto
Blocktavius. He just ain't smart enough to pull it off. Yeah, it's absolutely. So, Perch, I know you got caught up in this Tom King thing where he was kind of, I guess he was bragging. I didn't think he expected the pushback that getting a fan booted out of a con was going to get him. So you contacted AwesomeCon. No one got kicked out, right?
No, I don't. So this is, I was frustrated with the way this went down. So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I went to the contact form and I said, hey, how's it going? And part because of this, but also part because I know some people over there and I'm just more curious how the con's going. I'm glad cons are steading back up again. And I got what felt like somewhat of a form response of everything is fine, having a good time. Everybody's having a good time. No incidents. And I posted that, say, here's what I got. And I encourage people to go and contact themselves. And at least one of the news sites ran with it, like, Perch confirms there was no incident. It's like, just contact yourself. I know some other people reached out to. It's unclear whether anything happened or not. I think King's story changed, so it definitely didn't happen like the first version of the story in any event. So
wait, so the professional liar lied.
Well,
just because you work at the CIA doesn't mean that you're a professional liar.
No, it definitely means you are a professional liar. Plus,
No, the CIA has janitors. What are you talking about? Not everybody in the CIA is an agent. Okay,
that's
let's
a valid
not give him
point,
too much credit.
but he also literally lies for a living now with making up fiction.
Well, hey, that's part of storytelling. We got Brad Frederick, Perch to AEW confirmed. Boom. First it was
CM Punk,
and now it's Perch.
CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Perch.
I think they're hiring talented people over there, so it's not going to happen.
So, Drew, you guys at Comics Elite have been on the con scene. You know, it finally ramped back up after the shutdown and everything. What's it been like? Is there a lot of tensions out there with people wearing masks and stuff, or is it most people just trying to have fun?
Most people are trying to have fun. It's actually been close to about half and half at conventions. People wearing masks, people not. I mean, the convention centers, they'll say, you need to be wearing a mask, but we're walking around getting signatures and we're seeing people walk around without masks. Artists, we're not wearing masks. We're like, what's going on here? And, but I will say the only people that are really, the only time they're strict about it is like when we're setting up, the people that run the convention centers, they're like, hey, you need to have your mask on. Like we're lifting, we're lifting up
Tables
boxes,
and,
we're setting up our booths. You know what's going on? It's the only time they're enforcing it, but we've never seen anyone giving a hard time during a show about not having their mask on, especially by a creator. So when I saw this article, I showed Sean. I'm like, because we know Tom and his agent. We're like, dude, what the hell's going on here? And even Sean and I were like, this is not true. There's no way this actually happened. And so sure enough, yeah, thanks to Perch and his investigating, looks like it probably never happened. And we're not surprised by it at all. He's got a knack for fiction. I'll say that.
Hey, we got Tim Board from Hawkworld in here too. Welcome back, Tim. Somebody on my side of the world. I appreciate that. We gotta get Tim on one of these aficionados. I think he'd have a lot of fun.
Tim's great, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
With Tom King, people should also remember, I mean, he does a stunt every con. I mean, he had the one where his life was endangered. He hired a bodyguard, and it's not a bodyguard.
That guy's not even a bodyguard. I've seen that guy everywhere. He's not. He's just some guy.
Yeah, he's a pal. So
no, he didn't hire just some guy.
That would be funny. Yeah.
It would have been much funnier.
No, he's always got a gimmick, and I think it's part of his part of the show. He creates some kind of story that makes it more dramatic. I mean, it's part of what he does. And in this case, I think the overall anxiety and craziness over the mask. I mean, if you look at his story, it's kind of funny in a way. It's like Rorschach came up and wouldn't wear his mask. And I mean, and I happen to write Rorschach. Amazing what's going on here. And it's just kind of a funny story, but unfortunately everybody's so wound up about the mask and about this kind of bullying and everything else. Nobody's in the mood for it.
Honestly, I think most of the cons, they're sitting there going like, well, we could kick people out for not wearing them. And then we just won't have any customers.
Yeah, they don't want that publicity. They don't want that.
They're already having enough time getting people to come in. Enforcing a mask mandate, good luck. Well,
if there's a mask mandate, you should probably wear the mask.
No, I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm just saying good luck enforcing that and still having a business when you're done.
His story did not come off well, but Brad Frederick says, how do we know Tom King was in the military? He doesn't act like a seasoned veteran at all. Maybe he was clerical. I don't believe he was in the military. I think he was in the CIA. Most of the CIA is actually government civilian personnel. Yeah. Now there certainly are military people there, but I don't believe he was ever actually military. And Darth Bobcat, if only he was that creative in his comments. That was the most engaging story he's written in years, Perch.
Yeah.
It's like, finally. He's spun a tale.
But look, if you're that terrified of this damn virus, don't go out. If you're that terrified, don't go. Don't go then bitch about it later. I mean, look, if you're getting paid thousands of dollars to show up, and then you're going to bitch about it too, I'm like, dude, just stay home. No one wants to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. All right.
Well, I'm with you, and as much as I know Doc loves Brian Michael Bendis. It is. I will give him credit. At the Rose City, he opted out, and he contacted everybody, and he said, I have a kid who's not immune, and I'm nervous. I'm not comfortable going. I'm going to pull out. I'm sorry to the fans. He contacted everybody up front. He let everyone know that was the right thing to do. If you're uncomfortable, don't go, and communicate it. Good for him. He did the right thing.
Absolutely. All right, Josh, you got any thoughts on this one? You're the big Batman fan. I know you were quite impressed with Tom King's Batman run. What did you think about this?
Yeah, gave that a lot of 3s and 4s out of 10. Definitely impressed. Look, I'm not surprised. We've seen Tom King do crap like this before, and I think it kind of goes back to what Drew's saying. I think what we've all been saying, like if you're that scared, don't go to the con. And I think the cons themselves, that when it comes to enforcing mask mandates, and we're seeing this everywhere, we're seeing this with businesses. You're going to have people that do it. You're going to have people that don't do it. My advice is if they ask you to wear something, just wear it. Just, don't put up a fight. But I think you're going to see people running the event not really enforce in some areas because there become safety issues with trying to enforce masks in certain incidents. Like even within my day job, my own company, we've had physical encounters by asking people to wear masks before. So at that point, you just got to say, all right, what's really worth it, and go. But he wanted to try to create a little hype and buzz and got caught and called out. And, I think at some point you think he would learn not to do this, but apparently not.
Well, I mean, let's see. I think Zach had it right when he made up the story about Jay Lee being cool with him after that, and everybody called him out when Jay Lee said, "Nope, you're full of shit. We're not cool." So how do you get to make up a story where you're the hero and nobody can call you out when it's completely fiction? Make it up whole cloth with a person that doesn't exist.
Yeah, just like Dan Slott with Tom King, they don't have enough people telling them, "Hey, you probably should not do this." All right.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing
too.
It's like even if you think you're the hero, I don't know. I have trouble thinking that even acting this way is quote unquote heroic. Anytime you're going to approach someone in this way, and that's his first tweet and how he came across and how he supposedly approached the person. Like there's nothing heroic or good or positive about that approach. Like there is a much better way to have that conversation. Like if you feel this strongly about wearing masks, you can pull the person aside. You can have a one-on-one conversation. Say, hey, look, like this is really important to me. Please put your mask on. And that fan would have responded much better if it had actually happened. But I don't think it did.
Eric Breen has a terrible point. I hit like because Doc is always right.
Damn right.
Oh my goodness.
You're goddamn right.
How is
it, Breen?
Get out of here, Breen. No one asked you.
He is the expert. I mean, we have to accept it.
He's supposed to be a contributor. I thought he was a friend. Apparently, he's not. Moving on, we had another incident. I think you saw this one, Kerry. Jimmy from Comics Quirks, one of the nicest guys I've met, certainly the nicest guy I've ever had on my panel here. Normally, we try to get the biggest jerks we can find. That's why we have you guys. So when he's on here, everybody, it's always a little bit nicer. And just to see the way he was treated by Dan Slott, I just thought was so mean. You could just see that he was bullied, and he was trying to be so nice. Like I don't want to dislike you, but he almost forced him to it.
Yeah, and just to let you know, I've been blocked by Dan. Don't know why.
Everybody's been blocked by Dan.
Everybody's been blocked, yeah. But my question, and I brought this up today on Twitter, was: does Marvel and DC not have like a social media code of conduct at all? Like, is there anybody?
Do. I think AT&T and Disney do.
Okay, but I mean, like nobody's.
First, does it apply to these
do
creators since they're independent contractors?
It's unclear. So in theory, yes, it applies to everyone the way it's written, and it applies to subsidiaries. So yeah, DC and Marvel do have a social media contract or set of guidelines, but it's nobody wants to enforce it. As independent contractors, nobody wants to get in there and really enforce it, and so they don't.
And that's what I find crazy, because it's only hurting them more than it is anybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's going to want to buy products if they're getting yelled at on or getting blocked on Twitter.
Ever since he told a fan to go F himself, he's been given a get out of jail free card. He does not care.
It doesn't make it. It's
no one's going to say anything.
It's crazy. I mean, that kind of behavior is just encouraged.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Kerry, you're absolutely right. And what's going to happen is, I mean, let alone that in 2 to 3 years or something, one of these tweets is going to be over the line, or it's going to be against somebody who, there's just going to be some story. And this is the kind of thing that then makes its way to be, a big scandal that you made the wrong jokes. It's like a James Gunn type situation comes out. And and then Disney has to go chase that. That's where this all heads, and it will head here too. I mean, there's been plenty of things that have said that. Unfortunately, there's not going to come up like you bullied people. it's going to come up of you said something that embarrasses the corporation, and now we're going to get involved. And that's the future for all these guys.
And it's probably going to take when the company's already damaged beyond repair.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We've got Callum Lyle. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you had a question or something, you forgot to put it in there. I obviously don't see it. You can put it there. But thank you so much for supporting. Really appreciate that. We got Kenneth Dowling. Hello, guys. Hope you're all doing great. I hate bullies of any kind. That comic creators would do this to their own fans really disgusts me. That's the craziest part, right? Josh, is that Jimmy's genuinely a fan of Dan Slott.
Oh, agreed. There have been videos recently about customer service and whether or not comic books is a customer service industry, and like I think this is a fair sign that yes, it is. Like how you present yourself is gonna impact how well you do sales. Like if you're likable, people are gonna want to read your stuff more. And if you go out there and you create enemies, it's not gonna help. If you create enemies with people that are trying to push your books and promote your books and support your books for free, that also isn't gonna help. Right. I think the bad thing is we keep seeing more and more instances of this, and because we're seeing more and more, creators are just feeling more and more emboldened that they can get away with it. And I think that it's what Kerry was saying. We're just going to see it continue to go until finally the publishers step in and try to curb it somehow. So
we've also got Wolfstein 3D. Conclusion: people that are willing to lie for social media likes will not stop lying. In 4 weeks, the next Tom King you can't help himself episode.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing here too, is like it's so clear that so many of these things are just done for attention. And there's this running joke about how all these guys are like big nerds and don't socialize or aren't capable of socializing very well. So this is a way for them to get attention. But there's potentially some truth in that. And it's kind of just shameful, I mean, it's sad that they feel like they have to do this to get attention when they're in a situation that they're in. They could easily get attention in much better ways, and this is how they choose to go about it.
We've got Chuck Skills in Jimmy's latest YouTube video. Definitely go to Comic Quirks and subscribe to his channel. He's a great guy. He's got a lot of really good interviews. He was literally giving money to random Twitch accounts. I don't know him, but he seems like a super nice dude. Cheers, Jimmy. He's absolutely a super nice dude, and everybody, if you can support him any way that you can, he definitely deserves it. And I think he had a bad week. I think he might have been homeless for 2 days this week before this all happened. So whoa. Tom King has the best timing in the world, Drew.
Wow. I was not aware of that. Holy crap, that is terrible.
Yeah, I think something happened where he had to move apartments like with no notice, that he maybe was in his car for a couple days.
Oh, well, that sucks.
My heart goes out to Jimmy. It really does. Not just about this, but I mean, if let's say, I mean, granted, one of my favorite creators of all time is Jerry Ordway. I mean, this past week it wasn't the best for him for some of the comments he made, but still, if he had said those comments to me, I would have been heartbroken. Like I would have been like, I'm completely done with this business if Jerry had said that stuff to me. But wow, that's got to completely to blow your mind from anything about this business, the comics. Like you don't want anything to do with it after this point. Yeah, it's crazy. You almost forcing people to dislike. We got Callum Lyle. Why is it so hard to fire Dan Slott, Tom King, Gail Simone, and others like BIL? I don't think it is hard to fire them. They're independent contractors. You just don't renew the contract. It's not. But with Gail, like we saw, I think 10, 15 years ago with the New 52.
Yeah.
It's like, holy crap. Her angry aunts at Olive Garden, they'll get all up in a tizzy, and like go after DC Comics if word gets out that she's getting kicked off the title. It's not pretty. Social media will be lit on fire.
Yeah,
they'll hide behind titles.
They also, are really, really good at causing a massive stink loudly and publicly.
Yes.
And that's all you have to do is just not, continue them on a book. And then, oh, well, sorry, we don't have any other work for you right now. And immediately, you don't even have to fire them. Just they finish out this assignment. You don't give them another assignment. That's all that it'll take for them to just make a giant stink loudly on social media and then accuse you of everything on the planet. I mean, come on. And we know that, that one chick got a job just from accusing CB Cebulski of being a racist. Yeah. So all they got to do is just accuse them of something, some bigotry, and for not continuing to give them work. And that's all it'll take.
Yeah.
It certainly has happened. We've got Comics Exposed. Thank you so much for supporting channel. Where's Jimmy for this stream? Why isn't he here? That's a good question. I definitely invited Jimmy to come onto the stream. I wanted him to come in here and talk about what happened to him. But because the situation where he just had to move with no notice, he doesn't have his audio equipment. And that's why he wasn't able to make it. But hopefully next weekend.
It is pretty early for him out in
absolutely
his side of the world. I know it's already asking a big thing for Perch to show up after drinking all night.
After drinking in comics?
I mean, you just keep drinking. That's what you do.
All right. That's a solution.
Yes.
That's a solution.
You hit the Waffle House.
The old
Solutions, not problems. That's what we do here.
The
Drive home
old
with one eye open.
the old Homer Simpson solution. Alcohol, the cause and solution to all of life's problems.
Yeah, so that's why Jimmy's not here. But it's too bad that it happened to him. He couldn't happen to know a nicer guy. But as Perch mentioned earlier, this is something that we've seen from Dan from long time. He would definitely denigrate a lot of people just for having issues with the Spider-Man run. It's all been well documented by Doug Ernst on his personal blog and on his YouTube channel. We've got Eric Canetti. To Comics by Perch's point, if there's a mainstream contract or code of conduct, I suspect that it's unenforced because leadership agrees with the contractors, if not officially, then by proxy. Very unprofessional. Do you think that's probably what it is, Perch?
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely that plays into it. I mean, and it's too much work to get involved. If you're the company, you're going to get involved and you're going to look at the tweet and you're going to send them a mail and you're going to go all the rest. I mean, it has happened. It happened to Nick Spencer when people did reach out to him and said he needed to cut it out. This was a long time ago before the dam kind of burst and we saw all the rest of this stuff. But I mean, in general, it's just the publishers, the leadership doesn't see it worth their time to get in there and enforce all this kind of stuff. It's just more of a headache. So they just let it go. And if it gets too noisy, they just quietly just get somebody else new for the book. And that's all they do. And
you don't see Max Bemis writing anything at Marvel anymore. Yeah,
there's definitely been some people, but it's the weird part about it is somebody asked it earlier. It's the lower level people that get hit more than the upper level people. And that's another odd kind of piece. The people who are just kind of entering into Marvel have less of a name. They tend to get hit by editors telling them to stop, or they tend to generate friction a lot more. Dan Slott at this point in his career, nothing's stopping that wrecking ball. It's that Tom King again, nothing's going to go on there. But lower level people for sure. Al Ewing, he can do whatever he wants. But it's unfortunately it's also unfairly applied when it is applied.
So Dark Admiral March Hare asks, when's the next Slab and Raw? I'm sorry to announce it, but the Slab and Raw isn't going to be able to come back. We try to kind of get it back up, but it's just not in the cards. I think we're going to replace it with a wrestling show. I'm sorry, that's the best I could do for you about that one. We've also got Lade Kramer. Did anyone actually manage to read Superman Red and Blue #6 in that story Generations? I didn't get a read. Did you get a read, Drew? Yeah,
it was pretty bad. It's amazing how good the one with Daniel Warren Johnson and Judd Winnick was. Issue 5 was damn good, and then it just plateaued right after that in the next issue.
Well, plateaued meaning it would have maintained being good.
I thought
nosedive.
Cratered.
Nosedive.
Plateaus like the nosedive, like the Enron, like Enron stock. There we go. One like Enron, just completely cratered. There we go.
Well, what was wrong with it?
Every story was just depressing and bad, and just like not how it. This is not Superman. This is not good.
Wasn't a celebration of Superman.
Yes, it wasn't. And like Tom King tried telling a story similar to what Daniel Warren Johnson did, but it wasn't as good. It's like, let's do a Daniel Warren Johnson story about Pa Kent and Superman, but not as good.
Yeah, it's hard to.
I tried to forget as soon as I read it. It was that bad.
Man, maybe I should have covered it here on the channel. I'm sorry, Lane. I've been trying to catch up on so many comic books. I haven't been able to get to that one. Keaton KDI, full English breakfast is the solution to get over drinking. I don't know. I just can't do like canned beans for breakfast and tomatoes. The mushrooms I can get with, but I don't know, Perch, do you like a black sausage?
I don't eat much breakfast. I just, whiskey in the morning.
Pudding. I'm sorry, black pudding.
Yeah. No. I'm worst times of my life are having to find food in London.
pancakes, bacon, and eggs.
I lived there for 2 years and I couldn't do it.
Rough.
Disney and Warner Brothers subsidiary companies should enforce Disney and Warner Brothers social media policies. Absolutely.
Yes.
But I like an Irish breakfast a little bit more than an English breakfast, but I still can't do the puddings. It's just a little bit too far for me. But you throw mushrooms on my plate for breakfast. I can absolutely, I can get with it. Don't listen to Drew. Tristan. She's just taking issues with you. Are you lying?
Am I lying? No.
She just has bad taste in comics. All right, sorry, Tristan. I'm just busting her chops. That was on her channel this week. We had a lot of fun with that one. We got Kenneth Daly. Tom King stories are never as good.
No.
Actually, was it his first annual that just like shows the life of Batman and Catwoman as they get older and are in love? That would have been the perfect. Instead of issue 50, it should have been that. And then people would have liked it. So that was actually a good story. But otherwise, Tom King's not very good. Callum Lyle, does Tom King have the Oedipus complex because he writes women as mother wives and does enjoy being miserable? Zach described it best. I don't know that. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know if he has an Oedipus complex. But I do know that he's a bad writer.
It's the same beat right now across every title. Every character is miserable and depressed. Even the Supergirl character is miserable and depressed.
Well, she's an alcoholic now.
Yeah.
When you only have one tool in your toolbox and it's a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And that's the best way to describe Tom King's writing. Everything looks like a nail because that's his only tool. Write about middle-aged white guy suburban midlife crisis.
Wait, maybe the God story was true. No mommy wife. Perhaps. We got Everett Todd here. Wait, was Sheriff of Babylon any good? I know, Josh, you like Sheriff of Babylon.
I do. I that's actually one of my favorite books that he's done. I think part of the reason I like Tom King too is there are different techniques and there are different approaches you can have, and he's gotten it where he just uses those as a crutch now, and he didn't do that so heavily in Sheriff of Babylon. I think he came in with the intention of I think this Sheriff, if anything, is a very personal story for him. Sheriff of Babylon is definitely that story, and I think he wanted to make sure he executed it in a proper way. I loved it. I think it's great. There are things of Tom King's that I like. I mean, clearly I've got Grayson, the omnibus right here, and he co-wrote that with Tim Seeley. I think it's excellent. I enjoyed Omega Men. Those would be my Mr. Miracle, Vision. I think all of those are solid, so you can give those a read. But lately he's just kind of phoning it in and doing the exact same thing. Drew was right. Like every book is exactly the same. And his early work, you had some similar themes, but it didn't feel like the same book.
If you hear Josh breaking up a little bit, he does have storms coming into the area, so his signal might not be perfect the entire time. So that's likely what you saw. And we have got Laban Kramer back. My problem was with the story Ally. Its inspirational moment was Superman identity being revealed a la Bendis. The character wears a rainbow on his shirt and yells, "I'm gay." Is that true?
Yes, that happened in the very last story. And I think that was my skip it of the week. And just because it's legit. I wish I had the book here with me. I could show you guys. It is in the very
glad you don't.
So basically he told North Star, like, hold my beer, and then did that.
Watch this, yeah.
Oh wow.
I thought it seems like a parody moment, but okay, I believe it now.
So I read it. I started laughing out loud, and our shipping queen, Dawn, she's walking by me. She's like, "Why are you laughing so loud?" I'm like, "You got to check this out." And she starts laughing so loud. She's got that loud cougher's laugh, smoker's laugh. And it was bad. It's just, when she's a middle-aged woman, when she's laughing her butt off, it's not good.
Sounds glorious.
Yeah, you got to check it out, Wes. I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
How did I miss? Oh, I'm glad I missed it. Wolfstein 3D. Imagine you see the reception to the dark early DC movies and conclude, we need more misery in our comic books. Absolutely. We need more misery. Isn't that what makes the DC comic universe a special, Kerry? Is all the misery for the characters? It's not anything hopeful, right?
I'm not really a big fan of a lot of the DCU films because it's just sometimes too dark. I think it works with certain characters, but after a while you're kind of like, all right, a little I prefer the earlier MCU stuff over it.
And you are not going to like Fatal J. And he's not going to like you.
I
He is the
know.
biggest
I
Zack Snyder
know.
fan I've ever
I
met.
know.
And you know, when we were at MegaCon, we got to chat with Dan DiDio. Dan DiDio was there with Robert Venditti, and we were talking for hours. And
So lucky. I'm so jelly.
oh man, I wish you'd been there. And we were chatting about Tom, and we agreed, like, his earlier stuff was damn good, like Omega Men, Vision, that he was damn good. But just after a while, he just got complacent and just felt like he was untouchable, and he could just skate by and write whatever he wanted. And no
He
one.
M. Night Shyamalan himself.
Yeah.
He became it wasn't about it. We got King KDI. Remember King's other con story? He had a bodyguard because of death threats. Following, obviously, Batman 50, we found out that was a lie. As a writer, he doesn't create the best lies. That's why he's former CIA. There you go. Yeah, we mentioned that a little bit earlier, but absolutely, that was a bogus story. Oh no, Kerry, I know you picked up win on this. We know Aaron Lopresti had his Indiegogo Wraith of God campaign launch this week. It was really successful. Obviously, there was a bunch of pushback because he was on Ethan Van Sciver's Comics Artist Pro Secrets stream promoting the book, which any rational person would probably do the customer base being there. And they not only do they kind of attack the book, they attack Aaron. They kind of went after his wife. It's so
That's
strange.
shocking. Wait, I just saw you say that, and I was like, why do you involve the family in this? And it's like, why are you even attacking him for wanting to just campaign his own book? It's like always this guilty by association and this labeling people because they're more successful than what you're doing right now attitude.
Yeah, it was really crazy. I think there's one person end up taking his wife's profile pic and putting it on her thing, and it's just so weird. I don't know, Josh. What do you think about this? Is going on Ethan Van Sciver's live stream enough to just to be treated like this? I don't think it is.
No.
I mean, I think in general, I'll put it this way. I think we tend to subgroup people and generalize people too frequently by one small thing that they do, and I think Perch, I think both you and Perch have been called like Comicsgate and various things. And I think if you associate with someone, sometimes it's just trying to get an understanding. Sometimes you are trying to, reach a certain audience. I don't think just because you go on someone's stream, you're necessarily saying you agree with their sentiments. There have been plenty of conversations or panels or videos that I've been part of where I am the dissenting argument. I'm there providing the other opinion. And then I get grouped in with that person despite having the complete opposite of the opinion of theirs. So no, I think, if you choose that you don't agree with that, you don't want to watch, don't watch. If you don't want to support them financially, don't support them financially, but don't attack them, don't harass them. We need to stop and just realize we are all people in this. And I think if we ever took the time to actually have conversations with people, we would feel differently.
Absolutely. We got Jim Swordson. This is another Josh question. Just wondering what you guys think. If John Kent is going to be gay, does that mean Supergirl is the matriarch of the House of L? You are the DC aficionado. Is that what happened?
I mean, didn't Tom Taylor make it pretty clear that Lois Lane is the real superhero?
That is true. she's the driving force behind Superman.
I'm reading all of this Superman stuff. Well, I don't want to say all the Superman stuff. I'm reading the John Kent stuff right now. I'm just going okay and tossing it to the side.
It's absolutely bad. So, Perch, you just revealed you read that Superman Red and Blue comic?
Yeah, I looked up this story. I mean, I'm not a fan of the anthologies anyway, because nothing happens generally in the story. You could do an anthology well. Marvel Comics Presents used to do really good short stories where stuff would actually occur. And people forget the Barry Windsor Smith Weapon X story was told in that format, and it rocked. But a lot of these are like, what got to me was, this first story about the cat throwing a fit. I mean, it's kind of funny, but the cat straight up tries to murder an entire ship of people.
Yeah, where's the ship? It's like, that's a good character.
They save the people, but good Lord, there's crates falling off into the sea. Sorry, that's just baffling to me. And then I do think the coming out story, it's just too on the nose. I don't know. If the family was going to be this, I can't even. It's just silliness. What can I say?
Blame Lane Kramer. Do not blame me.
Yeah,
I didn't
thanks,
ask you
Lane
to do
Kramer.
that, sir. That's a Lane Kramer problem, not a Wes problem. I'm sorry you had to read it. We got Kenneth Dowling. You want a good annual? Read Spider-Man Life Story Annual number 1. A fill-in story that was very entertaining. I know that one's J. Jonah Jameson centric. I was supposed to have read it by now, but I haven't got to it. Drew, did you guys recommend that one on the pod?
Sean did. I didn't get a chance to recommend it, or not. I read it. I'm like, it's one of those things where, is it good? Absolutely. But did it come out 2 years too late? Yes, it did. It's like, why is this coming out now? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a great story about J. Jonah Jameson in real time. You know, what would have really, I guess, more or less happened to him, all the shenanigans he did. But yeah, I mean, it's good, but I don't want to say what's the point of it, but it's a good read. It is a good read. I just wish it came out in time with the Spider-Man Life Story.
Absolutely. We got Callum Lyle. Doc, why was Dan Slott hired in the first place?
Because he would accept peanuts to write Ren and Stimpy comics in the early 90s. I'm not joking. That's
true.
Why.
He's like an elephant? He got paid in peanuts?
Well, maybe not.
Part of that's true.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that statement is true. He is like an elephant.
That's when he first wrote Spider-Man. Yeah.
And yeah. So, and then he stuck around because they could still keep paying him peanuts. He had no family. He had no anything. He just wanted to write comics, and they could stick him on Z-list titles. And he, Dan did have the ability to get a Z-list title to 30, 50 issues. I mean, and granted, this is back in the day when anything under the 100 was kind of a failure, but he could get, She-Hulk to 50 issues. Mm-hmm. He could get The Thing to 50 issues. He could get other titles to 40, 50 issues. And for books that didn't sell, that was fine. That historically didn't sell, that was fine. So, but the problem is everybody that was actually good always got the good assignments. And then all the people that were good they all left. That's the problem. Ed Brubaker, your Brubakers, your Bendises, your Mark Millers, your Joe Casey's, your Grant Morrisons, all those guys left. And who you had left was Dan. So that's who
you go.
Got. That's why he's still there.
We got Federico De La Casa. I want to thank Titty Howard, Leah Williams, and Vidal for making me leave after 33 years of comic books reading with their lack of talent and discover the Russian literature. I found something beautiful again. You finally read Anna Karenina? What? My goodness. Perch, what else should he be reading if he's getting in on Russian literature? I know you're a big fan.
What? No.
You're not the Russian literature aficionado?
I'm not your guy. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I thought he was going to be the one.
Why though? That's weird. No, there's books out there. I guess. Don't make me go think about lit.
It's actually less depressing to read Russian literature than it is to read Leia and Tinny and Vita.
Like
at least we got Lane Kramer
in Russian literature.
Yeah,
with a well-timed apology. Sorry, Perch, I didn't mean to hurt your brain.
Hung over, damn it, Lane. I
got the hair of the dog right now. I can't be reading this shit.
The early point of Slott. I mean, the thing that is true. I mean, people have to accept because we've looked at the sales numbers. I mean, he brought in. He can legitimately claim in the last 20 years he's been one of the top-selling comic writers. He has. Now, granted, it's Spider-Man, and that's going to sell well. But he's done extremely well in bringing in sales for that book, and that's bluntly why he gets away with a lot of stuff. If you're bringing in those kinds of sales, if you're going to get 500,000 sales off of a Spider-Man relaunch, then you're going to be able to act like a jackass on social media. You shouldn't, but you will.
In fairness, though, I could write Spider-Man and get 500,000 on a relaunch too.
Well, Doc,
Spider-Man.
He's never sold a comic book, and you're still a jackass on social media.
Yeah, I am. You're proving the point, actually, right now. No, but I mean, others have tried. I mean, he's done better than many other Spider-Man writers. It's true, and that's why. It's where it's at. He found that character. Now, granted, they thought that success would translate over to Iron Man and to Fantastic Four, and Iron Man was a dumpster fire. Although
so
Chris
bad.
Cantwell is absolutely
worse.
Yeah.
Dan, see, the thing is, though, Dan also, while he can claim that he sold the most comics over probably the last decade, and that's probably true, part of it is he also managed to bring Spider-Man to his lowest possible ongoing monthly sales that anybody has achieved ever. Spider-Man selling sub 50,000 books is not, that's terrible. It's legitimately terrible.
Well, yeah, but I mean so it was lower when they had that. The early 2000s were lower than this. I mean, Dan did bring it up, and again, I mean, it's you just said
no,
that,
because JMS's numbers were better than him.
Not for his entire run, and when they did the committee thing, it was definitely lower.
Oh yeah, but that was after JMS. So
but
that would have been more.
JMS's run was lower. I promise. I mean,
Okay.
but now keep in mind, I like JMS's run way better.
He did lose a lot of people after Sins Past.
Yep, and the other was not well received, and some of those others. But I mean, again, talented wise, I'll take JMS any day of the week. I'm not making that argument, but but he's been able to be marketable. Let's check in 2 years. If Fantastic Four doesn't start spiking, I think it may be a different story. You got to keep up those numbers if you want to keep being a jackass.
We got Kenneth Dowling. Huge cool points to Josh. Josh is he's a lot of things. Cool isn't one of them. For his point on having conversations with people, we need to explore the context of situations and have meaningful discourse. I agree with you, and Josh is cool. I'm just teasing.
I'm a little cool, not just.
He's all right.
Look, I'll just say this: the best relationships I have with creators are creators that I've given really low scores on books with, and then we had a conversation afterwards, and really got to kind of talk through different things, either about the book itself or what's going on behind the scenes. So yeah, have conversations.
Yeah, that's how Josh and I met. He sent me a message. He was like, "Your channel sucks. Let me tell you the ways that you can improve it." And it was like 3 paragraphs. I was like, "This guy's great."
I don't think I did that.
No, you did. I'm just.
I was like, wait.
No, he doesn't do critiques of YouTube channels.
But it
would have been funny.
Tom King from Thinking Critical.
Eric Canetti says, how has it become known and matter of fact that the current state of writers at Marvel are getting paid those low rates? Is it listed somewhere? Is that listed somewhere, Perch, or are people just talking about it?
People are talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And additionally, when you're writing 4 to 5 books a month and you're still broke and bitching about being broke, that the only possible answer is you're getting paid peanuts.
I mean, you could have a gambling addiction. You could be going down to the red light district.
I mean,
you could be doing lots of stuff.
In which case, there's a lot of people with cocaine problems in comic books.
And naturally, when you're depressed, you're going to start bringing down creators who are making a lot of money on Indiegogo to bring them down to your depressing level. And that's just, find those external tormentors.
We got King KDI. There's an English saying, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Basically, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I'm going to use that one more.
I'm
going to diss the hell out of my 2-year-old with that one. Listen, kid. You want better, you pay me better.
I'll be a better dad if you pay me better.
You pay me peanuts, you get a monkey dad.
I don't know if that's going to work with the 2-year-old. 2-year-old me would want the monkey. I'd be like, hell yeah. Let's
He probably would, yeah. He's been doing animals lately. He's been doing impersonations. Lane Kramer, unlike Kenneth, you always be number 2 to me for coolness on this panel, just behind Perch. Bad. Way to bring down the.
Yeah, I'm not cool. You're making a terrible mistake.
I know you're not cool. That's the worst part about it, Perch. That means I'm less cool than you.
I know.
I'm really not cool.
You've seen my face. I look tired and old.
You're not tired at all. You look rejuvenated this week. You needed to get back home.
That's
looking better than ever. We got Callum Lyle. What do you think New Gods movie will be about, written by Tom King? It's not going to be about anything because it got canceled.
Yeah.
But it obviously would have been about a very depressed group of people that had mommy issues
Yeah.
Which kind of would fit with the New Gods, but
Would have been like that Cecil Castellucci comic that came out a couple years ago, where it was about
no, it
and
at
Mr.
least would have been a
Miracle.
little bit better than that. That was just bottom of the barrel bad.
No, it would have been
What was
Mr.
that?
Miracle with Darkseid eating a fucking cheese plate.
Look, I know a lot of people hate that. I did laugh. It's so ridiculous and it's so stupid and bad, but I did laugh. It was absurd.
Tevia says, why did it take 10 years for Slott to leave Spider-Man? I don't
They
think
didn't
he
have
wanted to
anybody
leave
better.
Spider-Man, right?
And they didn't have anybody better.
Yeah, what was the story with there? There was some. I mean, they were looking to kind of move him on some other books. I believe the origin was literally they wanted to get Slott sales on some other books, on Iron Man and on some other things. They were hoping he'd bring that audience over. Iron Man came first, I believe, in his contract, and then Fantastic Four was after that. And in both cases, they were trying to relaunch and push these books up. Obviously, it didn't take. And I know Spencer was excited to do Spider-Man, and I think that was part of the deal. Like, he needed to kind of shut up a little bit on social media and stop. And if he didn't, he wasn't going to get a Spider-Man book. And so that's kind of how some of that went down. But of course, Spencer went over to Substack with my new buddy who gave me a giant check.
Jeez.
Thank you, Spencer.
Are you with like a Discord? You guys just like count your money in front of each other? Like, look at this Substack money.
Yeah, that's exactly. Well, like Alex DeCampi, we just throw it all over ourselves and bathe around in it. That's what we do.
Don't do that with nickels. It hurts.
Absolutely. Not with Nichols. We're
no,
very dirty as well. You murdered that guy for.
I was
He says
going
it's
to
work. Go ahead.
never mind. I'm going to shut up.
Please, thank you. Let me continue. Is it worth jumping on Batman now with the writer, even at $5 cover price? Do we know who the artist is? $5 is a big ask. So we are going to talk about that here in a couple minutes, but we do know who, at least who the first story arc writer is going to be, Jorge Molina. I don't know. I think it's probably going to be worth it. I think Joshua Williamson's a good writer, but we do have the Batman aficionado right below me. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely say it's worth giving it a shot. I think all things are worth giving a shot. It seems like they're going to try to continue some of the plot threads that were started by Tynion. So I would say, wait, listen to kind of what the feedback is on the first issue that comes out. See if you need to start following Future State and just catch up, or if you can just jump right in. But I definitely say give it a shot. Williamson, if anything, as I said in our video, I don't think he is technically the best writer, but I think he's a solid storyteller. And I think that what he puts out is at the very least enjoyable and entertaining. So definitely for that alone, it's worth giving a shot.
Wolfsteed says their Twitter personas are so boring. I rule out cocaine or gambling addictions.
Valid.
True.
It is valid. I don't know what else. What else could there be there, Perch? What else could you spend all your money on? Could they just be buying back issues?
Toys.
I mean, people buy stupid things. I mean, they buy. I don't know. I'd be taking too many personal shots. But if you go to these feeds and you see these people, like, they take photos and they're like, they do a GoFundMe, and like a month later, they're like, check out all this new equipment I bought. I'm like, what are you doing?
They buy Switches and like PlayStations and shit, and then bitch about being broke.
Well, I mean, more than that. I mean, like, I've seen somebody was posting a picture of a guitar they had signed by a member of the Rolling Stones that had to have cost thousands of dollars. Cool,
$10,000 at least.
Don't. What are you doing? Like, this is a bad time to be buying that stuff. Or they're buying more masks. I don't know.
Get it, Dowling, to Callum Lyle. Darkseid in a diaper. There you go. We got Joe Corallo, the man behind. What is it? City of Bruce.
Yeah.
Just saying hi. We'll
Yes.
definitely have Joe back on the channel again.
The key to
What
my
do you say,
success right there. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. That bumped up the views by a lot. Everyone loves City of Bruce.
Yes.
We got Comics Exposed. How much is Perch's Substack per month? How much are they paying you, Perch?
How much they paying? Well, you have to pay nothing.
Oh.
Yeah. and so you can kind of do the math of what they're paying me. So
I'm going to go with a big
like,
nothing.
go get nobody's on this platform. So I'm serious. It takes 10 minutes to sign up. Go sign up. You can pick whatever screen name you want. I get to be Perch at Substack. Perch.substack. Cool, right? If you want to have like crazy butt at Substack, you can do it right now. The name is available. Go get it.
Man.
There. And now I've earned my $25 for pitching Substack.
There you go. He made his money. JMS and Gary Whitta need to come back to comics. There's a lot of comic creators that need to come back.
JMS is back at comics. He's at AWA.
That is true.
And it's good. Yeah.
He was doing all the it's kind of like a COVID story. Unfortunately, it kind of came out at the wrong time. Was it Resistance?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, him and Diodato. I think Diodato's on the art. I think
Yep.
or was.
Yeah. Callum Lyle, Perch, I enjoyed your review video on Nubia the Real One. The people behind that should never work in comics again. Is it that bad?
I love the dry delivery there of straightforward to the point. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's always, the thing I can't get over, and I'm a broken record on this, is you're making these books for the YA audience. You're making this book to sell in schools. That was what they're doing with Nubia and what they're doing with I Am Not Starfire and some of these books. That's a good plan. I do think that you should make books that sell in schools. We have what Mayor Doggo is coming out next week, and that's going to sell like
Mayor.
crazy. What's that?
Good boy Mayor.
Good Boy Mayor. Yes, Good Boy Mayor. That
So
book's going to
good.
sell insane next week from Scholastic. The problem with Nubia, many problems, but don't put a school shooting in your comic that you're going to sell in schools. That's a bad plan.
Absolutely. I will say this. I'm getting my 6-year-old all the first 6 volumes of Dogman, and now I've got to get Mayor Good Boy. Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
They love
He's
it.
going to love it.
I remember in being in grade school, we had the Scholastic Book Fair, and we had books to choose from. And one of them, I remember, it got me into the old school X-Men comics. Was a child adaptation of the Giant Size X-Men. They did an adaptation in that in a young adult form, and I loved it. And then I went to go check out the comics later.
Doc, you're a completionist. Do you have that comic book?
I did not know this existed, and I need to find it.
Your run is incomplete, sir. Sorry.
That stuff's great. You're right. I mean, these book fairs were so good at getting kids into comics. It was the gateway drug into comics. And
See, my Scholastic Book Fair when I was a kid had shit. Like there was like the best that I could hope for was like some Calvin and
I always
Hobbes.
wanted Mad Libs.
Calvin and
My mom's
Hobbes
like, you
and
can't
Mad
get
Libs.
4 different Mad Libs. I'm
Oh.
like, that's all I need.
Calvin and
Oh,
Hobbes,
right.
Mad Libs, and Scary Stories You Can Tell in the Dark.
Yes, those were good.
That was
All right,
was
Perch.
the best we had.
What were you saying that was relevant to comic books? I'm sorry, Doc, and I took you way off path.
no, nothing. Just this is it. It's a great Scholastic book fairs are right now an excellent way to get kids into comics. And what's happening is Scholastic.
Nubia the Real One isn't though.
No. God, fuck no. I mean, sorry, but there's some. If you're going to go from Scholastic, if you're going to go from Dogman, like what you're buying to get, the problem is the kids are naturally going to go from that to My Hero Academia. They're not going to go from that to Nubia, and they're not going to want to promote a school shooting at your Scholastic school book fair. They're just not going to happen.
You mean
This
to
was kind
tell
of
me-
wonderful school shooting that your kid's just gonna love. Like,
And I just remember another thing too. Like even back then, they had young adult adaptations of The Death and Return of Superman,
Yes.
Nightfall. I mean, you can do these, take these classic stories, put them in young adult format, and with an awesome cover, and these kids will buy it. I guarantee it.
They do, and they do, and Ron Lim, which a lot of people forget. I mean, he does work for Disney now, I think more than Marvel, and he's been the artist on a ton of these like 5-minute Marvel stories and things they're selling. And they're like you said, they're just very lightweight, early entry adaptions of comics, and they sell well. If you go to the Amazon book list, they're there. They're beating Civil War and other things that are Marvel comics because the kids are eating it up. But you have to have some place for them to go after they read that stuff.
we got Federico de la Casa. Depressing Comics wanted to grown-ups to medium, but was done by Alan Moore and J.M. DeMatteis. These writers are just bad and could not write better, even if their life was depending on this. And now it is. Man, Alan Moore's pretty good. I like J.M. DeMatteis. He's not my favorite writer all the times, but the Craven's Last Hunt's pretty damn good.
His Justice League stuff is really good. With Kevin McGuire. Yeah.
Now, Alan Moore's written some very bad comics, and I would say the last editions of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen were not very good. But I don't know, if you're going to point out bad writers, you should use like Tom King or something, not Alan Moore.
I mean, but at least the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen gave us Sean Connery's last movie, so there was
Forced him to retire. This sucks.
Oh no, what he's saying is that the old depressing comic books were at least written
We're done
people
by
with-
good writers.
Yes.
I was like, why is he busting Alan Moore and J.M. DeMatteis' balls here? I was like, I don't get it.
like
right,
that they had the ability to write that depth
but yeah, they would break
pressure.
the characters down, but build them back up. They would.
It's a
It
big
wouldn't be like Tom
return.
King was just completely breaking them down. They would build them back up. But that art is gone now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sorry for misrepresenting what you're saying, Federico. You, sir, are a gem. I didn't mean it. That was my bad. Callum Lyle, love you too, Kenneth. Ooh. We got sparks in the chat.
You guys are gonna have to calm down. Doc's gonna get sad that he's not getting love on this stream.
Do not give Doc any.
Somebody in the chat referred to me as the male version of Comic Book Girl 19. So I don't know if that's an insult or
it's an insult in my book, and I think it's brilliant. Absolutely, you should You should dye your hair green.
That's what I was about to say. I'm trying to have long green hair and like half.
Your beard.
What hair?
Dye your beard green.
No, because we saw the last guy that had a dyed beard on Twitter, and no.
Yeah. Blade Craver says, "What do you think of JMS as a showrunner of Doctor Who? I think it sounds brilliant, but I don't watch Doctor Who. Does anyone here like Doctor Who? Was that a good sign? Carrie, you watch Doctor Who?
I haven't watched it in a while. Like I checked out during the Peter
Capaldi.
J. Michael
Capaldi.
Straczynski was writing it. If he was the showrunner, would you watch it then?
Yeah, I do like Babylon 5, so I would maybe give it a chance.
There you
but
go.
I'm
It'd
so
be a
checked
step
out
up.
on it. Yeah, it would be.
Comics Exposed. Are we not talking about the new gay Aquaman? It's not the new gay Aquaman. As far as I know, Jackson Hyde's always been gay, isn't he?
Yeah, when they introduced him in comics, they introduced him as a gay character. So
yeah. I think Aquaman the Becoming it's like Elseworlds. It's not like he's Aquaman in the Justice League.
Yeah.
No, it's well. I mean, who knows if it's in continuity or not right now with DC? Everything's in continuity, but
yeah, right.
Yeah. But Aquaman, this character. I mean, this is. I wish DC would do more of this. They have gay characters. Where's Obsidian? Like, let's make some more out of him. He's a good character. You could do cool stuff with him. Why not? So, I would rather them use some of their legacy characters this way. It would be better.
Agreed.
Man, Eric Canetti says Perch coerced me to say that title yesterday. I can never forgive myself for falling for it.
Mayor Goodboy. Yeah.
Oh,
come on! Mayor Goodboy's wonderful.
I thought he was saying something else, like it was something perverse.
No, for Eric it was. I mean, just
Mayor Goodboy
by Arcathena, by Mayor Goodboy, put them next to each other, they'll pair perfectly.
Absolutely.
That's
Mayor Goodboy is the gateway drug to Arcathena. If you want get your kids into good comics, you get a Mayor Goodboy. Next thing you know, they'll be reading Eric Canetti comics.
That's right.
I think we've talked about this one long enough. Obviously, we could do like a 2 whole hour show on this bullying stuff. Does anyone have any last thoughts about creators bullying customers before we move on to some more positive things?
It needs to stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Look, if there's any lesson that I ever learned in life, it's that you don't have to respond. So maybe creators should take note. That's all I'm going to say.
My only... Oh, go ahead, Carrie.
That's okay. I was just going to say the companies need to start holding them accountable.
Yeah.
My comment on it is very simple. Is bullying a customer going to make you any fucking money? No.
Don't make dollars. It don't make sense.
Yep.
It's absolutely. I live by the Floyd Mayweather life lessons. Let's move on to the next big news that we had here. We've got Joshua Williamson as the new Batman writer. Well, are any of you on Instagram?
Yes.
I'm not on Instagram. Carrie's on it. You're on Substack and Instagram without me.
I'm on everything. I'm on everything.
Jesus.
I apparently just created a Substack.
So Carrie's on Instagram. Perch is on Instagram. I guarantee you Comics Leader on Instagram.
Yes.
Come on, Josh. You're normal. You're not on Instagram, are you?
I mean, Batman News is on Instagram, and then I have a personal Instagram that I don't use.
You're double on Instagram.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I've got my personal Instagram, and I think the one thing I would use it for is to like, oh, look at this great food I'm eating. But by the time I think about it, I've already eaten the whole damn plate because I like.
So Doc, it's just you and I, huh?
Yep, I have no Instagram.
I may need to get me an Instagram.
Yeah.
I can't be in that kind of company.
It's hard to get those photos before it's hard to get those photos out before the food's eaten. That's why Dan Slott doesn't have an Instagram for his food.
Yes. He can't wait until the food's already
some
there.
crumbs. photo of the day of my dinner.
Empty bags of Cheetos.
Lane Craver, is that West reverse psychology with DC comic delay? No, that's a real story. We're definitely going to get to it. Oh, no problem, Wes. My bad. I bet you, Perch, and Just Some Guy are the only reasonable people in the comic industry. I follow in some that they call you with bad names. They do call me bad names. They call Perch bad names. He's the nicest guy in the world besides, Jimmy.
Yeah, I get called bad names. Yeah, I mean, we've been roasted as being in one group. We were roasted for being super SJWs for like an hour and a half. It's always something.
Yeah. I was called a xenophobe once.
Yeah, it's good.
While
Literally live in another country.
In another country, married
in Asia.
Yeah.
I don't have any white friends here. What?
All right. You're xenophobing wrong.
I am xenophobic, Rob. Maybe I'm xenophobic against white people now. That's what it is. Let's get into the Batman news. We got Joshua Williamson is the new writer, and we got Comics Exposed. He's going to talk about this one. Josh, he says Williamson and Molina deserve a chance on Batman. I'll be checking it out. What say you, sir? And I will be right back, people.
Look, I'm just going to say I agree. It's basically what I said before. I'm looking forward to see what they do. Again, I think Williamson is hit or miss for me, but I feel like if you give him a chance to take long run, he tells an interesting story. So I'm on board. Drew, what are your thoughts on this?
To me, he's a solid number 3. I would say, for me, it would have been like Venditti, Peter Tomasi, and then him.
Agreed.
It's like okay, that's safe. He's good. I know he'll put out a good quality book, and I'm excited to see the Oval again. That's cool to see that.
100%.
And I'm. This is me. I know. I'm hoping it does eventually get back to it. I'm hoping we get Bruce and Batman back in the cave. I'm hoping we get back to the mansion. I hope we get the things reestablished again, because it's really starting to get old at this point for me, with him being out of everything and the caves being blown up. And we did a video recently where I brought it up. I'm like, how? Because it's been established Bruce has many entrances into the Batcave. How is he not able to get back there at least through all this going on right now?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah, no, it really doesn't. It really doesn't.
Okay, I'm not alone, but still, I can't wait to see what Josh Williamson has. It should be fun.
Yeah, I mean, his Bruce isn't even going to be in Gotham, so again, how many times are we going to take Batman out of Gotham and try to make a story out of it, or give someone else the mantle and try to make a story out of it? So that's a little tired at this point, but I'm always open just to see. I kind of pick and choose my headcanon. So I've become a little more tolerant as I've gotten older.
Do you think Williamson's going to be the one? I mean, somebody is going to be left holding the bag to tie up this future state story of the magistrate in Gotham, what we saw in those books. And we're moving to that pretty quickly. It feels like that's next summer, next fall is when we're going to be there. So is Williamson the person who's got to carry that one to conclusion? Because that sucks for him.
Oh, yeah, no, I would almost guarantee he's the person that's going to carry that. And I think that's part of the reason he was chosen is Wes and I have kind of referred to him as a company man. And I think that's I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way. He seems very loyal to DC, and he can get work done, and he can get work done quickly, and he'll play by the rules. But I think for him, I think he knows that this is what he's being tasked to do. But I also think he knows in some ways he's been overlooked in the past because he's not really a top tier writer. So for him, this is a good chance, so much in the way that Tynion took this opportunity. It's a good chance for him to come in and be like, actually, I can do this. And that's what I'm hoping for, is that he'll step up, really, kind of surprise us, deliver some great work, get some good sales, and maybe get a better chance to do what he really wants to do. I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, he's got glimmers, of where he could be really good. Like I liked his Flash year 1 he did with Barry. Like he brought in the turtle. I thought that was pretty clever what he did with that, because no one's used a turtle in like 20, 30 years.
Right.
And but I wasn't the biggest fan of his Flash run, but he had glimmers. So I think, this is his chance to shine right here to prove what he's got.
I think this actually ties in with King KDI's super chat here. If Williamson gets a long run, do you think DC will give him a long-term art partner?
I mean, at this point, it kind of looks like they're going to just rotate Molina and Jimenez. And I mean, I'm perfectly okay with that. Both their work looks great. So It looks like that's the goal, is just to rotate those two with each arc for now.
I'd love to see Bogdanovic, him and Williamson on Batman. Bogdanovic this last week in Detective, he was fantastic.
Oh, that art was excellent. He kind of really laid into the horror element of Vile as a character, and it elevated that book in so many ways. And I love Dan Moore as well. Like I want to see him stick around. For the past 2.5, 3 years, artists have not been the problem on the Bat books at all. Like they're picking the right people for that aspect of the book, not necessarily the writers.
Yeah.
In your opinions though, Josh, what do you think is where they're going to end up having to move with this whole magistrate thing?
Look, we've all heard the rumors about the crisis coming. I think they're going to move to wrap up the magistrate thing, and I think DC in general kind of realized they backed themselves in a corner from a storytelling standpoint, and I think that's why we're getting the crisis.
Do you think that they just kind of abort the magistrate by doing the crisis sooner and never have to actually get to it?
You're already getting to the magistrate. Like, it's already happening now. Like, the magistrate exists. They just now started releasing the magistrate on the city. It was just approved by Nakano. And that's what part of Fear State is going to be. It looks like they're going to use Fear State as a way to sidestep what we knew of magistrate for Future State. So I think we will get magistrate, but I do think it's going to be a little bit different. Just because based on Future State, Scarecrow is very much part of what the magistrate was doing. And here Scarecrow is kind of opposing the magistrate and turning it on themselves. So they are taking it a little bit of a slight turn while keeping some elements. So I think you're going to get a little bit of both of that as they move to another direction. I think the big thing here is, to me, it feels very clear they're trying to figure out what they want to do and trying to buy time. That's how it comes across to me.
We just read Fear State Alpha, #1. It comes out next week, and it really looks like they're pushing for the next Batman, like him, Jace Fox. It's like that's gonna be the big, thing. Like, what do we do with him at this point? Because you're gonna have him and Bruce Wayne Batman. It suddenly, it's not 5 years in the future; it's gonna be now. So what happens here?
But the storyline that they're rolling out is that you've got Bruce leaving Gotham and leaving it to kind of the family. Gotham is then going to proceed to go to absolute shit, as we've seen in Future State. So they've got to reconcile, Bruce. I mean, that was part of the line. Like, you abandoned us, you left us, and that's kind of the the storyline they're running with Future State. So Bruce has got to reemerge and find his role. I mean, maybe this is the long game of showing why Bruce matters to the city. I don't know. I'm just, the faster they can get through all this to get to the other end, and like you said, get Bruce back into the cave and get some of these classic stories again, that would be great, because it's been a long time actually since we've seen just Bruce Wayne classic Batman stories. Like, when was the last time we had a 2-year run of Batman just doing Batman stuff that was solid Batman? I mean, even this Snyder Capullo run had Bruce lose his memory, and then Bruce. I mean, it's been a while.
It's been a hot minute. I mean, you had like a year of Snyder where you got just Batman Adventures, but honestly, Grant Morrison was pretty much the last time you got a good. And even then, you got rid of Batman.
Dick Grayson, right?
Yeah. I mean, he had his run up to Dick taking the mantle, but yeah, it's been way too long that we've had just good standard Batman stories.
King KDI has to say, if Williamson gets a long run, do you think DC will give him a long-term art partner, and who would you like? Well, I would just say stick with Jorge Jimenez if they can. Who would you like? I mean, do you think Dan Mora and Victor Bogdanovich on Detective is a good thing? Maybe split the two.
We kind of touched on this already while you were in the bathroom, but yeah, I mean, these artists are all good, and if you can keep them, keep them. I did see that DC signed. Oh God, I can't remember who it is. They just signed someone.
Daniel Sampry.
Yes. So
he's been great on Action Comics.
I think with everything going on with Substack and creatives leaving or taking other ventures, I think DC really needs to get smart about trying to tie people down. It's going to be important for them.
Yep. So thank you for that. We got Kenneth Dowling. I have the same thoughts as Drew. Now you like Drew. I don't get it. Kenneth. You're supposed to be on my side. I hope Williamson can reestablish Batman's status quo. He has his money. He's in the cave. No magistrate nonsense. All right, if that's what Drew said, I agree with Drew too. Whatever. What do you think the thoughts or the chances that happen? You said you think that they're going in another direction. Maybe once we get out of this crisis, maybe Bruce Wayne isn't Batman. Maybe it is Jace Fox.
Look, at this point, it's going to be interesting because if you look back to when 5G was going to happen and we were supposed to have the new Batman step in, which at the time was Luke. Now it's Jace. It kind of looks like, as Drew said, they're going to push hard right now. I honestly don't know what direction they're going to take. And I think if Tynion were still there would have been a direction. I think with Tynion stepping away, that direction is going to change.
What do you think? What do you think, Drew? Where is this all going? I'm playing my feet firmly down that they're going to push hard for Jace. I think it might be like a Nightfall situation where Jane Paul Valley took over, Gotham turns to shit, Bruce has to come back. I'm hoping they go with it. Jace takes over, Gotham turns to even more shit, Bruce has to come back to fix it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much. Good dialogue. Should be exciting stuff. Anybody have any last thoughts on Joshua Williamson taking over as new Batman writer?
Feels like they're stretching him a bit thin.
Oh,
they
100%.
Like, because he's got Justice League Incarnate, he's got Robin, he's got Deathstroke Incorporated.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff going on.
I would say fully expect to see him get pulled from at least 2 or 3 of those books. I mean, some of the books he has right now, they're miniseries anyways, but I don't foresee him staying on Deathstroke. I think they're going to keep him to maybe Batman, whatever this title he's teasing, and maybe Robin. But they're going to want him to focus on Batman.
So Figure Drawing thinks that you're hating on Jace, Drew. Are you hating Jace Fox?
He just hasn't been a well-written character at all.
Not
in
really.
any way, shape, or form. You cannot debate that. Anything from Future State to next Batman. I mean, really, okay, so explain this to me. If you can summarize why he is Batman in one sentence, go.
He's written that way.
He's
Editorial decisions.
Yeah.
Do
With
you
Bruce
think
Wayne,
they're going-
you can explain why he is Batman. At Jace, you cannot at all. It is convoluted and confusing. I'm going to leave it at that.
What are you saying, Kerry?
Do you think they're going the way of all new, all different? Because they got Superman leaving and having his son taking over, and now they're going to replace Batman.
You and I are on the same wavelength. I got a video dropping Tuesday about this whole thing.
I've been saying this since they announced it because all this is still the 5G plan with a different name and different way of getting to the exact same place. And all this is DC copying Marvel's homework from 5 years ago.
See, I think it's different from the 5G plan in a worse way, and
Yeah.
here's where. So the 5G plan, and Tynion is confirming a lot of this. There was 2 key parts to it that they've abandoned. One is that they were going to go in and put some more details behind the heroes about kind of how they operated and everything else. They've abandoned that part and just gone with it's the omniverse, linear verse. Everything's existing simultaneously. People are aging slowly. Who knows what's going on? And then the other piece was. 5G was supposed to be kind of a big event, an Age of Apocalypse type thing. And then they were kind of sort out the pieces like Age of Apocalypse did. The parts that work, they would continue with. The parts they didn't, they won't. What we're seeing now is somehow weirder. They didn't put in the effort to explain what was going on. They didn't put the effort to establish continuity, why Superman's like old in one book and not in the other, and who knows. And we're getting it is the all new, all different kind of piece. It's very much kind of Bendis's playbook from when he was at Marvel, doing some of this stuff, bringing in some of these new characters and just shoving it at us. There's no explanation for a lot of these characters, why they exist, who they are. Much like Riri showed up in just a couple issues. She's Iron Man, and there's no buildup at all. And you're seeing similar things here. It's what was that John Kent Superman conversation? Like, you should do more, Dad. I'm just going to fly around and do stuff. And hey, Bendix is just hanging out in this island for some reason as the president. And I mean, it's just throwing stuff at the wall. And it's not even will it stick. It's just they just keep throwing.
Yep.
So Everett Todd says, bring back Batman Incorporated. So Josh, we do know we see the oval on the chest that's kind of associated with that. Do you think that's what he was hinting at?
I mean, it's clearly that suit. I think I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing some of those characters from Batman Inc. pop up again with this kind of like diversity push they're doing. It would make sense. I don't think they'll ever be dominantly featured, but I think it'll be done. I mean, look, so much of what they're doing right now feels like it's a gimmick, anyways, or for a pat on the back. So I would say expect to see some of that stuff for that reason, but don't expect to see a Batman Inc. title unless it's a digital first. And probably not worth your time at that point.
Jay says,
"See, right now you're thinking, wait a minute, you're saying another Batman title?
More Batman.
Yeah, there's not enough of those.
Oh, Jay says, screw Batman. What DC needs is to create an Aquaman and Andy series with his daughter by Peter J. Tomasi, like he did for Davey. You mean John? Maybe he did it for both. What do you think about that, Perch? I would be super excited about that. Although I did enjoy the Jackson Hyde Andy Future State series by Brandon Thomas. I thought that was good too.
I mean, give work to Pete Tomasi. Like, why in the world are you not? Especially now, you're like, your people are leaving like crazy. Are you not? Did you lose his phone number? Do you need help finding him? We can hook you up. We can find him for you. Get him on some books. Like,
yes,
anything.
Yeah,
absolutely. Kenneth Dowling, Jace has not been a well-written character. Once again, agreeing with everybody but me, apparently. I do not want Spider-Verse with Batman. I don't want two Batman running around. Bruce Wayne is Batman. Nobody wants that.
They killed the uniqueness of Batman when they added like 17 people to his family over the last 25 years. Yeah. When there was one Robin, Oracle, and Nightwing, that was it. That was fine. Any uniqueness to Batman is long gone.
You have all these vigilantes running around Gotham. How is crime still happening? I don't get it.
Well, let's not forget that you've got Gotham Girl, who's more powerful than Superman.
What happened to her?
You don't even need Batman anymore, Josh.
No, it's way too much. Like, and you're saying 17, but there's been all these like pseudo family members too, like that have been there over the past couple of years, and you have fans that outcry they want to see a certain person, and then they bring them back, and then while they're bringing back 6 characters that they haven't featured in 20 years, they're gonna create another 6, and it's way too much. Someone needs to go on a killing spree through Gotham. That's what we need right now.
His name is Joker. He needs to end them all.
His name
needs to happen.
Sort of like with
Bloodsport, all of them. We just need to take them all out. Yeah.
With all the Wolverines and the Spider people over in Marvel, just put them on a rocket ship and shoot them into the sun.
Yeah.
They never come back from that.
We're gonna wrap that one up.
Oh, go ahead.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, just in general, from a writing standpoint, whether you're telling a story or creating characters, like our writers and our editors really need to assess, what is the purpose of the story? What is the purpose of this character? And it does not feel like that's happening.
I will agree with you. Let's get into this next one. We're good. We're going to talk about Superman versus Hulk. Who would win? Now, we've got the Marvel aficionado, Doc. We've got the DC aficionado, Josh here. And we've got some people that are in between. I think this would be a fantastic fight. Drew, in your mind, you square up. They toe the line. It's Superman versus Hulk. Who wins the day?
I honestly, I'm typically a DC guy, but honestly, it's tough to go against the Hulk, especially if the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. I see Superman pulling his punches. I just don't see him. I mean, granted, he didn't with Doomsday, or did he? But I could just see Hulk really taking advantage of Superman.
He didn't pull his punches until he died. Like, you would literally, that's the thing. Like, and it would be another Doomsday situation where he would pull his punches, and then the Hulk would, except for depending on which Hulk it is, he might eat him.
Yes, I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah, which Hulk are we talking about? Yeah.
But so Hulk's going to just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger as he gets more and more frustrated and angrier. But at the same time, I mean, Marvel's Superman is the century, and he managed to get through to the Hulk to the point where, the Hulk would actually go to sleep, not turn back into Bruce Banner, but take naps. He would calm the Hulk down, not to turn him back. No, by just being a.
There's no
calming
singing
force.
allowed in a fist fight, Doc. This is fisticuffs. All right, Carrie, who wins, Superman or Hulk?
I think Superman would throw Hulk into space and forget about him.
Thank you. That's exactly what he would do. Perch, he would throw him into the sun. That's a W, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big W? I don't know. Maybe Perch is gone.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know you threw it to me. I'm sitting here just staring at everybody.
Sorry, I yelled at you.
Like a moron. Yeah, no, I think Superman wins if he's smart about it. I mean, Superman could just fly a certain distance away and just cut holes in his body through with his laser vision. I mean, there's things that I think Superman could do, but Superman's also an idiot at times. So, I mean, if he stands down there and it's like, hey, what's going on there, big fella? You seem like you're a little angry. Then I think that he could be in some real trouble.
He tries to teach him a lesson in the middle of the fight.
Yeah.
And then, like, being angry is not the right way to be, Hulk.
Yeah.
Time out. So Perch pulling the, hey, what's going on down there, big fella, automatically made me think of the movies. The sun's getting a little low. Let me caress your hand.
That's right. Stroke him behind the ears.
That's right. Oh,
Nicely rub him.
If you try to do that in the UFC, you're going to get disqualified. That's not allowed.
If Superman
Chuck says Golden Age
there,
Superman, no contest. Golden Age Superman did a lot of crazy stuff, Perch.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, Golden Age Superman was a badass.
No, Silver Age Superman was the one that did crazy shit. Golden Age couldn't even jump over. He couldn't even fly.
Yeah, but
still strong enough.
Golden Age Superman would smack a bitch too. So I think
he would.
And landlords.
Yeah. No, I think it should be Superman, but or how about this? We reveal both of them are gay,
and then they just have sex.
Yeah, there
You're
go.
like, is that Greco-Roman wrestling they're trying? That's not wrestling, my friend.
What is Superman doing? Oh my goodness!
He's trying to leap over him, but can't leap over him. What's going on?
Who is the top?
Keeps trying to leap over him and missing. I'm like, God, enjoy myself.
Oh man. No, but see, here's the thing. Superman can literally move planets if he wanted to, but the Hulk can get angry enough to break them. So I don't know.
Superman can throw him into the sun.
He can, but Hulk's immortal and can't die. So
I don't think that works with the sun.
I think unless Hulk took out a city, that Superman would resort to that level. I don't think he would. Like, unless Hulk took lives, Superman...
He doesn't have the fighting spirit to go for it?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Apollo, or the engineer, just dropped the fake Hulk from the Authority in space and let him explode whenever all the air in his body escaped.
I could see Superman trying to talk to Hulk, and he hits him on the top of the head, and Superman ends up in China, right? Where the hell am I? He goes all the way through the earth.
Yeah, well, if the Hulk managed to hit him all the way into the core of the earth, that's not the sun. It might actually hurt him.
There you go. He's got none of the yellow sun rays.
Yeah.
I don't. There have been. I mean, they were technically Earth 2 stories, but there were stories where Superman was in the core of the Earth and came out. So, I'm kind of on the page that like Hulk would definitely have the upper hand at first because Superman wouldn't take him seriously or wouldn't go to the lengths that he needed to, and then he would start really throwing some punches, and then I think he would just like get fed up and fly Hulk into space where there's no debris, nothing around, and just like stop, leave him there, and fly back. So you've got Hulk out in space, just like flailing,
floating.
Well, he'd be frozen.
Well, that
pretty
too.
Fast, absolutely. We've got Per Eriksson's with the Swedish Crota. Which forgotten characters would you like to see used again? I would like to see Sabra from Marvel in a good story. No Jason Aaron. No Jason Aaron. Yep. She's no nonsense badass female hero.
She's kind of like Silver Sable, but better.
Do you want to see her in a Jason Aaron story? I think Jason Aaron's got the chops.
No, I don't want to see Jason Aaron on a Jason Aaron story.
You know what forgotten character I want? It's the dude from the Legion of Superheroes that turns on him that they left on a planet like 3,000 years in the future. That he's just sitting on the rock and he's like, I can't believe they left me here. That's the guy I want to see return. He should be the new Doctor Doom of DC Comics. Perch, which forgotten character do you want to see?
God. I mean, I just like to see some of the characters who've got written well. That's what I like. Who's a forgotten character?
Arm
How
fall
about
off.
Rick
boy.
Jones? You never see Rick Jones again.
Rick Jones is dead, isn't he? Or no, he's a monster again. That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, we did see him in Immortal Hulk. I forgot.
Yeah,
about
no,
that.
he's there. I don't
He
know.
came up like-
It's been a day. I mean, like some people in the chat correctly pointed out that Jackson Hyde was written as straight, and last night it was pointed out that the Falcon was originally a mutant. So I've got a lot of things going on in my head right now.
Jackson Hyde was originally straight.
In Brightest Day, that's true. He did have a girlfriend.
Could have been a beard.
Yeah, it could have been. I mean, a lot of things could happen. But
You know what long forgotten character that I want back? Carol Danvers.
Well played.
She's been
Got it
dead
right.
for too long.
Got it
Yeah.
back there behind me. There she is, right back there. Yeah.
All right,
the
Josh,
Hypno
we'll let
Hustler.
you
Why
wrap
Joe
this
came
one
in.
up.
It's the Hypno Hustler. Where is the Hypno Hustler? We need that's a character. Come on.
Where's the Hypno Hustler? That's what
Thank
we
you,
need.
Joe. You're helping me.
Paste Pot Pete.
Millie the model needs to return to the Marvel Comics universe. We've got Kenneth Dowling. Hulk advantage is unlimited strength. Superman has other powers, heat vision, speed, flight. Could go either way. It would be an amazing fight. We've seen this twice in comics already. Yeah, but there wasn't a definitive winner. Neither of them died. That's what I'm talking about, man. We need someone to die on this one. Josh, did you say you said who's winning? Did anyone else not? Kerry, who's winning this one? You said it first. What am I saying?
I said Superman. He threw him into space.
Absolutely. He'd throw him into the sun. Be lights out. We got anything else about Superman versus Hulk? There's something else in here.
I mean, as they've said, the real winners would be the fans.
Absolutely. That's what we all want to see. We got Chris from Comics Exposed. We need a current all-out fight series from DC Marvel where the big guns like Hulk and Superman fight each other and are allowed to just go at it.
Yeah, like do it. What was the MTV show back in the day? Celebrity Deathmatch. Just do it like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Claymation. Do it in claymation.
Yeah.
Man, there was so many beefs settled on that show. It was amazing.
Right?
Now,
I think that was the
who
first
wins
time we saw
between-
Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Now, who
Sorry,
wins
Perch.
between Lobo and the Hulk?
Oh, Lobo. Because he would immediately do all the shit that Superman wouldn't.
Yes.
Yeah, but would he just make Hulk angry and then Hulk would like punch him into the sun?
Yeah, see, I think Lobo would have the close game, and I think that plays to the Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's not as fast as Superman either.
No, I think Hulk would win that one.
Yeah, I go with Hulk on that one. Callum Lyle says, what about Red Hulk?
He punched the Watcher, so I mean that's
That's true.
Does that make a difference if it's Red Hulk? Do you think he's got a fighting chance against Superman?
I mean, I don't know that it makes much of a difference. Again, if Superman's on his game, he
Well,
beats-
it depends. You know what? Actually, I think Red Hulk does because Red Hulk absorbs different radiations. He can absorb and then
He would pull the
exerts
power
it.
right out of Superman. He'd become
He could suck
some
all
yes. loser.
Yeah, he could suck all of. He could suck all the power out of Superman.
He's like a UV vampire. Just suck all the
And-
radiation right out of it.
Superman
and then-
doesn't just exude radiation. Otherwise, like Lois would be dead of cancer some time ago.
No,
Oh
no,
my goodness, Alan Moore here.
No, he doesn't exude it, but he stores it inside of him like a battery. All that UV radiation, and he keeps it inside, and then he converts it over to strength and power and all that other shit.
Okay.
So Red Hulk can just basically absorb it all in, or he absorbs a little bit of kryptonite and then just keeps dosing.
This
Superman
is a fair
with
fight,
it.
Doc. You can't bring kryptonite into
Yeah.
the octagon.
I mean,
Come on.
he's gonna like hang on,
Okay.
Superman. I got to go over to the kryptonite store over here and
Yeah.
absorb some of this.
Okay,
stuff.
Let me
then I'll-
wrap my
You keep
hands in
giving Lois
kryptonite
cancer
before we
while I do
fight.
this.
Yeah, then yeah, he could just still absorb all the shit out of him.
Well, there you go. You might have found a loophole, Callum Lyle. I think that one might have been the one.
Yeah, I mean,
Neil
but
Star-
what about the parasite? Oh, somebody in the chat just said the same thing. The parasite absorbs energy, and Superman is able to kick his ass.
Yeah, but he's not a Hulk.
Yeah, but yeah.
If Parasite had the power of Hulk, I think he'd get Superman's ass. I think he'd get him.
Yeah.
Neostar Production says, "When's the last time we saw Elongated Man? I saw him in the Flash TV show."
Yeah, it's been a while. I could make a dirty joke here, but it's been a while.
I think he was in that Secret Six Gail Simone series she did for the New 52. That was the last time I saw him in the comics. After that,
I avoid seeing elongated men.
Whoa.
I much prefer the girl on girl type.
My goodness. Okay. Next question. Kenneth Dowling, I'm picking Superman, and I'm a Marvel guy. That's because you're smart.
That's right, Kenneth.
It's absolutely Superman. Maybe we'll do some more of these fights here in the future. That was fun. We'll pick some of our dream matchups. Let's get back onto some of the things that are happening. This was pretty exciting. We got the Superman No Way Home trailer. I thought I was done with the MCU. I was like,
The
this
Superman
is
trailer.
Jesus. You guys are
Superman
such
does have
jerks.
No Way Home. His planet blew up.
Yeah, absolutely. We got the trailer. I thought the Marvel Cinematic Universe was dead after Eternals and Shang-Chi and Black Widow. And now I'm excited again, Josh. Am I out of my mind for getting excited about this trailer? It looks like the Green Goblin's in from Sam Raimi. We got Doc Ock. Looks like Electro from the Andrew Garfield series. We got, I think, Sandman in there.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's worth being excited about. I think we touched on this last week. I do think there are a little like speed bumps in the MCU recently, but I also made the comment, you've got to keep in mind that they had a plan coming out of Infinity War and Endgame, and that plan has clearly changed. Even when you look at Doctor Strange 2, it was originally supposed to be a horror film, and now it's turned into this multiverse kind of epic story that they're doing across multiple films and TV shows. And honestly, I think it's Kevin Feige got hip to the fact that he could have his cake and eat it too. For a while now, we've had people wanting things like Daredevil or the shows, and he was completely ignoring them. And if he takes the multiverse route, it gives him a way to get these actors that people love and have not stopped supporting, bring them in, but still completely wipe the slate clean. But yeah, for Spider-Man, dude, it looks excellent. Like, I'm super stoked. So
Alan Lyle wanted to say, what about Blonsky Abomination? Could Abomination beat Superman?
No.
All right, Kerry, what'd you think about Spider-Man No Way Home? Was that exciting to you?
The trailer looks great, but I'm still very cautious because I've not been a big fan of how they handle Spider-Man in the MCU. Kind of with the whole always having to have a dad represented by like Iron Man or now Doctor Strange. But I am curious because I don't think that's the Doctor Strange we know. Kind of acting out of character.
Yeah, there's shenanigans there for sure. Yeah,
I think is it Dormammu? Is it Mephisto? Who is it?
Baron Mordo in disguise. Yeah,
Could be that. It could also be Loki for all I know.
I mean,
It's
it could be that
Mephisto.
he saw Peter's aunt and he's just happy and horny. So that could be.
It's Mephisto, and he doesn't realize that he's making a deal with the devil.
That's a
Agreed.
good point.
That's exactly what I think it is.
Jesus, you guys just spoiled the whole fucking movie.
You're welcome.
It's just a theory. Yeah, we are smart people. To Kerry's point, though, I do think that they're going to. If there's one thing that Kevin Feige is, he's smart. Like, let's just throw it out there. And anytime that there have been relatively large complaints about the MCU, he's come back in and found ways to change the course to appease people. And one of the biggest things with Spider-Man is that a lot of people don't feel like it's Spider-Man because you don't have Uncle Ben, you don't have that stuff. And I understand why. Like, we've already had 2 film series that explored that. But I do think that this will also be an opportunity for him to bring those elements in and kind of like, sneak it in and make people happy. So I would expect you're going to see some of that.
I think the complaints are less about there being no Uncle Ben and more about him just being Iron Boy.
Exactly.
Again. Yeah, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
But what I'm saying is, I think they took that approach because they didn't want to take the Uncle Ben approach and losing as I said, we've had 2 film series that have focused on that, and I think they purposely wanted to take a different route, and that's why they went the Iron Man route. But you're getting those complaints. But I do think this movie in Doctor Strange is going to allow elements of Peter being independent, not necessarily being a product of Iron Man, be able to come through and shine through, and you'll get that more traditional Spider-Man. he may not get like the speech from Uncle Ben, but he might get it from another Spider-Man. But this also brings in villains that aren't tied to Tony Stark, where every other villain so far has been tied to Tony Stark. So you're going to start seeing those elements kind of trickle in.
King KDI has a movie pitch here, Perch. Superman, There's a Way Home, a movie where Kal-El could go back in time to save Krypton, but people try to stop him from messing up the timeline. The TVA interfere. We got Mobius and Loki on the case. What do you think,
Yeah,
Perch?
sure. Yeah, why not? I mean, sure. Superman fucking up the time stream would be hilarious. Let's do it.
Superman.
Which one was it? Superman the movie or Superman 2 where he spins the world?
No,
in
that's
reverse?
Superman 1. Superman the movie. Yes. Yeah.
Motion picture.
So he can definitely time travel.
He certainly can. He can, I mean, a lot of things can happen in the Superman verse. You get Richard Pryor in there and he could make some synthetic kryptonite and with his computer hacking skills. And I mean, all kinds of things can go on.
I liked it when he grabbed his chest logo and he threw it at Zod and it turned into a big piece of saran wrap.
Yeah.
Wrapped him up like a sandwich.
Yeah,
That's how he keeps his food fresh. No, I mentioned this last night. We were talking about the MCU and kind of films in general. I've seen Shang-Chi. It's not bad. It's probably the best of the three that we're getting directly from Marvel this year. It does feel like Marvel movies. I mean, it's I would say it's in the bottom half, but it's a Marvel movie, almost paint by numbers origin story. And I think it's going to wind up being the most successful of the three. And it's going to make people feel at least a little bit more like the MCU, but they are in a weird spot right now with the delay and everything they've got and kind of how they're pulling to next year. I mean, next year, what is next year's the new Thor movie, the new Doctor Strange movie? I mean, they've loaded up 2022. Yeah. It's a strange spot they're in.
Perch, did Substack get you with the free preview of Shang-Chi? Is that how they got you on board?
It's all due to Substack. That's right.
That's what it is. Joe Corallo says, I agree that this iteration of Spider-Man being tied to Tony and looking for a father figure isn't as interesting as they think. That said, Tom Holland has the best ass of any actor playing Spider-Man.
Well, he's
a
not wrong.
stick. Come on, he's skinny.
But I mean, we're comparing ass here. We want to throw up Tobey Maguire's ass, Andrew Garfield's ass. I mean, there's no Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland ass contest here. I mean, come on. And then it's up to Garfield or Holland. I mean,
whatever. Garfield's got the best moose knuckle in the game. That's all I'm saying.
There you go. Yeah, he's not wrong.
I just want to point out that I'm the one gay person on this panel that has not been talking about male anatomy this whole time. So.
That's because you're a prude.
Yes.
I think Joe shared with me, I mean, this meme last night of just, this finally makes sense that Doc Ock is horny for Aunt May.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This time around, he just kept seeing the wrong Aunt May.
I mean, imagine his surprise. This is going to be the moment in the movie they've got to deliver. Is like Doc Ock's emerged from the multiverse and he's stomping around this one, and suddenly this Aunt May, he's like, Aunt May, get out of the way, and Doc Ock's like, wait, hang on, what? Stop the fight. What's this? Because I remember the old one from the previous or my multiverse. Like, shit, this is way better here. I'm giving up crime.
Also, I was married. Why am I trying to hook up with your aunt?
I mean, I really hope they have that scene of old Lena doing a huge double take of like, wait, what? Holy shit, what's going on here?
You close up his eyes, and then it's a close up of Aunt May's rack.
Yes.
reflecting in the goggles.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it, Marvel.
His tentacles get hard.
So before I get to this next super chat, I do want to say right now we got 90 likes on this live stream. If you're watching and you're enjoying, definitely give us a like. Hit that bad boy. Let everyone know that we're having a good time, having a fun conversation about comic books and comic book movies here. And hopefully, maybe we can get up to like 150 or something by the end of the video. So if you could do it, please hit the like button. We've also got Callum Lyle saying, I hope it will lead into Venom versus Spider-Man because some fans are wanting that, and Tom Hardy said he's doing a third Venom movie. So this could lead into them meeting, or I think that's the plan. Isn't that what everyone kind of understands? Is that
like even in the
Sony's
trailer,
hoping them to merge?
Yeah, even in the Morbius trailer, they have Michael Keaton, and they got like the graffiti about Spider-Man being wanted for murder. Yeah, that's definitely going there.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got to look at this two different ways. Like, you got to keep in mind all the Spider-Man projects are Sony, and Sony's going to do whatever they can to, ride the coattails of the MCU. And they've tried to do it in interviews. I'm trying to think of the VP's name, and I can't right now. But she's made comments like, "Oh, yes, it is part of the MCU," and then Feige has separately been like, "Not really. It's its own thing over here." But I think the more that stuff kind of gets teased, the more fans.
Is that exec for Marvel or Sony?
Sony.
Sony. What's her name that used to run Sony?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I
forgot the name. I knew the one from Marvel.
But I think fans are going to want it, so you're going to start seeing some iteration of it, and I do think you'll start seeing some of these Sony projects kind of merge in with the MCU. But the moment that happens, you better believe Kevin Feige and Marvel is going to take more creative control over those projects. I mean,
Amy Pascal.
Yes, there we go. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doc.
Yep.
But yeah, Marvel already pretty much writes these Spider-Man films for Sony, so you're gonna see more.
Well, they are getting their Sinister Six movie, which they've been trying to do for how long at Sony? Finally happened.
Yeah,
like 10 years, 20 years.
Brian with the Y says Mr. Stark replaced Uncle Ben as mentor for Peter in the MCU movies. Well, certainly the one in the MCU. Maybe we are going to get the other iterations. Maybe they'll be able to pass on what Uncle Ben, told them when they were little. So I think it sucks.
I hope all the Spider people.
We're absolutely going to see Uncle Ben in this movie. I guarantee you that's going to be the heartstring moment of this. It's a fan theory, but they're going to bring out old Uncle Ben from the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie, and Peter's going to be like, "Oh, the Uncle Ben,
the best Uncle Ben."
And then the music's going to be all sad, and it will give.
Wait, is that dude still alive?
No, he's dead. Yeah.
Okay, they all right. Well, all right.
They're gonna bring the Andrew Gar.
They're getting Sheen.
Yeah, they'll have to CGI it. It'll be a hologram.
Yeah, they'll be CGI it.
Yeah, they'll have to do that. It'll be like some kind of hologram Uncle Ben, and then Peter will get all strong, and they'll punch Green Goblin right in the dick, and that's how it's going to go.
Hopefully, by the time they're done, they end up merging all of the memories of all the Peter Parkers together.
That would be really confusing.
Yes, it would. But at least it'll make him actually Peter Parker and not just Tony Stark Jr.
All right, Carol Lyle says if Brie Larson left, do you think the MCU would be better?
They're already pushing her out from that Captain Marvel movie coming out.
Would make it worse, right?
No,
that Captain Marvel movie wasn't awful. It was just boring.
Well, the new one coming out, it seems like they're pushing her out of the way. It's going to be the next two.
Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the worst decision of all times. We've also got Dark Admiral March Hare. Thank you so much. Been here since the very first stream, I think. This guy's been here forever. McGuire, best Peter Parker. Garfield, best Spider-Man, quip-wise. And don't forget, he's also got the best Moose Knuckle. Not a fan of Marvel's Robin. The Vulture was great. I don't know. Does that sound about right to you, Carrie? Is that the best? Is that the lineup?
I agree.
Tobey Maguire was like 45 when he was in high school, though. It's hard to take him serious as that Peter Parker.
Right, but I think Garfield had the best personal relationship with Gwen Stacy.
When he slings the web onto her ass and brings her back, I was like, that feels like Spider-Man. You didn't like that? I thought it was cool.
Well, I mean, and the whole relationship, I liked it better than with Mary Jane and the Maguire because I wasn't a big fan of Kirsten Dunst.
You don't like Kirsten?
No.
You didn't like Interview with a Vampire?
Not for Kirsten. Or Kirsten.
It's Kirsten. Come on.
Kirsten.
Oh my goodness. You're going to disrespect her and say her name wrong. My bone.
I still think her face looks like a foot.
My goodness. Comic Quirks with Jimmy. Wonderful to see you here. Hopefully we can have you here on the panel next week, Jimmy. We were talking about you earlier, and everyone here supports you, and we're all not happy with what your interaction was. But he says, as soon as I see William Dafoe Gobby, I will be throbbing. Jesus, man. That's pretty.
Apparently, it's my wet dream.
Jeez, you're like the dude from Superbad where he's just he's drawing. Remember that?
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe Dan Slott was right.
Maybe Dan Slott was right.
Oh, wow.
Sitting there on his Facebook drawing dicks all day. Or he teased because we love Jimmy. But hey, we all want to see William Dafoe return as the Green Goblin. Absolutely.
I just want him to have a better costume this time around.
If they can go with the original prototype mask that they did, shoot, go with that. Oh, perfect. Yeah, just go with that.
I got a question. Who do you think this sixth member will be of the Sinister Six?
I think it's Scorpion, isn't it? Isn't it Scorpion?
They've mentioned that. I know
it's got to be Rhino. Why would you bring in Paul Giamatti and never pay it off?
I feel like you've got 3 options. Well, potentially 4 options here. You potentially have Vulture come back into the picture. You've got Rhino that could pop up, which I love Paul Giamatti, but I'm okay if we don't see that Rhino. I think you could see Mephisto come back. And then, Scorpion is definitely in the background. And that actor is supposed to be in this. I don't know if he's actually going to be. Scorpion.
Lizard is in the background. Yeah. It's not Scorpion.
That's what I was going to say.
No.
I'm Lizard.
No, he's there in the. I don't mean in the trailer. I'm just saying Scorpion is a character that's already in this universe and been introduced, and he's just in the background.
He was in jail. Yeah.
So there are options.
It's got to be Rhino, right? We all want to see Giamatti. He was like the weirdest part of that whole movie.
But look, costume is
terrible. I want Kraven. I want a great Kraven. You want to talk about the easiest, cheapest, most badass villain you can put in a Spider-Man movie? It's Kraven the Hunter. I mean,
they're doing a movie.
They have Kraven casted for his own movie. So cast.
If it's not Idris Elba, it's terrible casting. I'm just putting it out there.
It's Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron.
It's got to be Idris Elba. That guy can play anything.
I mean, but he's already been in the MCU.
Yeah, both of them.
Well, so is Aaron Taylor
Johnson has been too.
He's Quicksilver
twice.
I know. Fair. Technically, it's not an MCU movie, but that's all I'm saying.
The Avengers,
Hypno Hustler.
No, Kraven.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Whatever. You keep making up whatever. How could you introduce Black Cat to the MCU?
You cast her, and then you put her in the movie.
Yeah.
you cast
you kill off whoever You kill off MJ in the movie, and Black Cat replaces her.
Someone's got to steal a MacGuffin, and you need the best thief, and boom, you got Black Cat.
And her boobs better be hanging out.
Yes, Greg Land style. Yes.
Yep. Just whatever. Whoever. What we do is we find whoever Greg Land traced, whatever model, and then we just cast her. Problem solved.
Jenna Jameson's too old to play Black Cat nowadays,
and she took her implants out, so there's that downside.
It's never going to work. Yeah. All right, are we done with Spider-Man: No Way Home?
Yeah, Kenneth Dowling can come back off mute, so it'll be good.
Yes, come back, Kenneth Dowling. Let's talk about these plans to introduce the X-Men and Fantastic Four. Now, this is a rumor, but they're saying that in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, we will see Scarlet Witch facing off with a prominent member from the Fox universe as they're starting to introduce these characters. Carrie, this is the only way it makes sense to where you could introduce these characters into the universe is them coming from another one. Otherwise, it's like, what were they doing the whole time?
Yeah, then they would have to explain how they were there, but never there for everything else, just like with the Eternals. Everybody's asking why did the Eternals show up to help with the Thanos situation. I mean, they're just going to do that. It's going to be like Crisis on Infinity Earths. Everything's going to come together and they're all going to exist in one timeline.
All right, Doc, how do you want to see this? Which character should it be? Should it be Reed Richards? Should it be the Thing?
I think it should be Reed. I don't know why.
Could he hold up to Scarlet Witch? She seriously was destroying Thanos while destroying her husband or her boyfriend at the same time, and the only reason she lost was she got distracted.
But Reed is a lot smarter and will have
Thanos had an Infinity Gauntlet.
No,
he was fighting her.
Yeah.
I want to see Dr. Doom. I'm hoping it's Dr. Doom that's standing toe-to-toe with her. Because
I absolutely think it's Doom. I'm with you. I think the Darkhold and what they set up there, it's Doom's got his magic side to him, and they want to have that be a part of it. I absolutely think it's Doom.
All right. Joe says, I think a great way to introduce X-Men to Fantastic Four would be a game of Pictionary. Heads up.
Yeah.
Something like that, a little icebreaker.
Twister would be good. Yeah.
Why not?
How they executed it.
they could start off with a adaptation of X of Swords with all the nonsense of a game of maybe fucking tiddlywinks and Gorgon going to fuck a rock, because why not?
Look, we gotta
That's
have
the
some
best way to
tarot cards in there
introduce them.
somewhere.
Yeah.
What is with all the tarot cards, Josh? Now that you brought it up, I'm seeing it in every fucking comic nowadays. It's making me sick.
Look, apparently tarot in general is really hot right now. You go into a Barnes and Noble, they've got it on end caps with all these different like sensors and stuff on them, so you can't just steal them.
It's like razor blades at Walmart.
I guess. I don't know. So
well, you go to Walmart and in the Mach 4, Mach whatever razors are always got the little sensors on them, right?
oh yeah. This has like what I've seen, it's like wires that come around and wrap it up, so you can't actually pull it out of this contraption. And
for tarot cards.
For tarot cards.
You're like you should be able to print those off on the internet or laminate them or something, right?
Right. Probably.
I feel like maybe you live in the ghetto.
Me? Actually, since we're talking about it, yes.
Okay.
It's just a ghetto Walmart. Okay, that makes
sense. I know. Look here. I'm giving Perch some homework because I know Perch pops into Barnes and Nobles to just kind of check things out. Go and look and see somewhere near the entrance if they have an end cap with tarot cards just completely.
Oh yeah,
censored. Oh yeah, see,
they do. They absolutely do. It's a thing now. Like Dungeons and Dragons has a comeback. Tarot is fashionable again because people got excess money and they want to buy cards. So there you go.
It's middle-aged suburban white women that need something to believe in, and they've already ran out of crystals and astrology.
So there you go, Josh. This is what they have at the end cap at my store that I go to. You can get an off-brand bottle of gin and taped to it are 2 packets of Tang. I'm not lying. I think I live in a more ghetto neighborhood, huh? Wow. That's our version of gin and juice here.
That's awesome. Yeah, Philippines.
I looked at my wife and was like, "Are they kidding me?" I'm like, "It looks delicious." So I wanted to get one of these.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. Especially in my hometown, which is like around 10,000 people, you can probably go into some little corner market stores and see something similar, except it'll be Kool-Aid packets instead of Tang.
Yeah, Tang is essentially Kool-Aid here in the Philippines. We don't get actual Kool-Aid anymore.
It's way back when. I mean, I sold in the shop, and I think I have it over on the shelf. I've got the original Dave McKean Vertigo Tarot deck, and it's a cool deck. It was great art and all the rest. It sold well, and that was kind of where I was done. Like they made that
confirmed. Perch is a middle-aged suburban white woman.
Oh, we knew that's not good. We knew that this isn't confirmed. But it was a cool bit. Dave McKean art. It was awesome. It was a good little thing. And then I remember after that, one of the I don't know, it was Coffin Comics. Somebody did a pseudo porno version of a tarot deck. It wasn't Lady Death, but it was some of the comic characters on the indie market, and they were
Jim Ballant?
That's how Doc knows so much about tarot cards.
I have to go back and look at that. But anyway, there was that. And I think Cherry Comics did one as well. And then that was the end for me. That's it.
All right. Well, let's get back to the task ahead. King KDI says, bring all the Fantastic Four in. They were in another dimension because Reed likes walking into portals to other places and drags his family with him.
My theory on introducing the FF would actually be a lot similar to that. They actually did launch in the 60s, and that Reed was designing everything, but they ended up basically transported somewhere else.
Yeah,
and now they come back
the microverse. They can discover this thing.
Yep. And then they come back as a result of Endgame, or because of fucking Scarlet Witch or Loki or whatever. And they bring them back, and now it's still the same people, but they left in the 60s. And now it explains why they need to stick around as a family in the 21st century, because they would basically kind of be the replacements for Steve Rogers in a little way, with being the people out of time.
Yeah. So from what I'm trying to remember if this was an official comment that was made, but there was when Fantastic Four was first announced, there was a comment about the movie actually taking place in the 60s. And then the rumor is that you're actually going to see the Fantastic Four first and Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania. So for me, that makes perfect sense. As for the Fox people coming in, do we want to talk about what the actual rumor is? Or
Yeah, throw
Go
it out.
for
I mean,
it.
it's a rumor at
Okay,
this point. It's not
so-
fact. It's not a spoiler.
yeah, I mean, at the rumor at this point, and some people are presenting it as fact, but the rumor is that it's going to be an X-Men character from one of the Fox properties. We already know that Feige reached out to Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman. They're both saying no, but they're saying no in different ways than anyone ever else tends to deny their involvement with the MCU. But the rumor is that it's actually going to be Professor X, and it's going to be Professor X, or a variant of Professor X that goes up against Scarlet Witch. And potentially we get a reverse House of M. Instead of no more mutants, she sees mutants from these other realities and then wills them into existence in our reality. Or this reality, I should say.
Interesting.
So,
Okay.
you know, I mean, that's the rumor that's out there, and I think it kind of fits with what we've been set up with. And if it becomes true, hey, I'll enjoy it.
Let's do it. Kenneth Dowling says, wait, did I read that one? Yeah, we did. I was like, I forgot about that. Kenneth Dowling says, don't know how the X-Men will work in the MCU. It won't be anything we love about the comics, I don't think. Maybe they will use the Hickman stories. I don't think they can use the Hickman stories, Perch. They never finished. There's not enough of them.
That's true. It would be hard to do the Hickman stories. I mean, it requires a lot of like pre-knowledge. Like they're not going to roll out like, hey, let's talk about Moira's lives. Like none of that makes sense when you're introducing these characters. That would have to be 10 years from now or more after you've got a franchise. I mean, I don't know.
And nobody wants to see a bunch of people just sitting around on an island drinking fucking margaritas all the time. There's no story there.
Yeah, I agree. It wouldn't work. I mean, maybe if they're naked, but probably not.
Probably do that. Zombo the Judge says, I found my white elephant gift. Thanks, Wes. I'm assuming you're talking about my the makeshift gin and juice that we get here in the Philippines.
Oh,
It'd absolutely be perfect. You got a white elephant for Christmas. Chuck Skills, tarot cards, condoms, and razor blades are under lock and key at Walmart. What? Hey, it's the truth. It's the truth. Drew, can you get razor blades at Walmart without using a little special thing to pull the whole thing off them?
In my last trip, I think you do need the assistance, with one of the special.
It's like a fucking PlayStation 5 or something, right?
Yeah, I know. It's like, really? Yeah. I don't get it, but yeah, that's Wally World for you.
It's the truth, man. There you go. Do we have anything else to say about the plans to introduce the X-Men Fantastic Four? Since Josh essentially just spoiled the next entire phase of the MCU.
It's a rumor. I'm just saying what the rumor is. It's the reason people are talking about it. If it's true, I'm sorry. If not, you can just call me an idiot. I'll take it with pride.
If it's true, they should have probably kept their mouths shut better.
Oh, 100%. So,
I mean, the rumor I heard is that it's actually going to be all about Tila. So
that would be beautiful.
Wow.
Kevin Smith's coming in, and he's gonna add Tila to this too. Tila to everything.
Absolutely. Tila Tequila shows up in the MCU.
There's your black
that's what I
cat
was
right
about
there.
to say.
There we go.
Where did this bitch come from? I thought that she was on that MTV show like 20 years ago.
Yeah, shot at love or shot of love or something like that.
The one where she's dating men and women on the same show. Yeah, why the hell not?
True
Funny show.
story. One of my old employees, when I was in LA, won a contest to spend a day with Tila Tequila, and she was super excited, and I did not understand why. So
that's like a punishment.
I can explain it to you.
There's two reasons I can think of, but
all right. Callum says, Perch, I loved Lady Death. Thanks for mentioning her. Anyway, are any of you concerned about She-Hulk in the MCU, especially with how she looks now with that Phoenix Force look?
I mean, the actress, what they've done, they're not going to make that weird Red Room abomination horrifying thing that we're getting in the Avengers right now. It's going to be I think it'll be a much more classic She-Hulk. I think they're going to make it look a lot more like the Byrne version. I don't think we're going to get this hulking weirdo. So I don't know. We'll see. I think they want to make something marketable. They said they want to have a fun, smart kind of show. And so you're not going to have a fun, smart show if you've got this CGI beast running around. So
Yeah.
They need to cast that lady from the very first J.J. Abrams. What was that? Star Trek. That girl could carry green. You know what I'm saying?
She was Scarlet in the G.I. Joe movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's who they should have to do it.
What's her name? The Jamila, whatever her fucking name is, that's playing She-Hulk.
Tatiana Maslany.
Oh yeah, that's her name. I don't know. I thought it was the other chick. Never mind. I give up.
Look,
Beautiful.
I'm excited. I think they mentioned there was going to even be some of the Byrne fourth wall breaking type mentality to the show. And Maslany's an incredible actress, so I think it's a win to have her. Just from a craft standpoint, I'm excited.
yeah, no, I think it feels everything they've described sounds a lot more like the lawyer Byrne. In some cases, maybe the Slott run of She-Hulk. Not they're not going to do this current thing.
No.
Yeah. When Dan Slott was good when he was writing She-Hulk, adapt some of those stories when she has to defend Star Fox in court, for seducing women.
Dan Slott would get a $5,000 check for doing that, and then he would go and bully Jimmy some more. So I'm not advocating for that.
Fair enough.
That to happen.
I will say,
So
if you have not seen the TV show Orphan Black, you will understand why I'm excited. So go watch it.
It's a good show.
Yeah, she plays I don't want to say anything. Just
All right,
excellent.
let's get onto this supply chain issue. This is big time stuff here. Essentially, there's a paper shortage. I think there's a shortage of anything associated with wood right now. Huh? Right, Doc? You know what I'm talking about. There's a paper shortage, and DC ends up having 36 comic books and omnibuses that are all being delayed due to port issues and COVID-related stuff. Perch, this feels like it's a big deal. It's certainly going to affect Batman Day. You're not going to the stores that order those comics aren't going to get full orders for them. And how is this not going to affect Marvel or the other publishers?
I mean, it is weird that these supply chain issues, these missing comics, all happen to align with a bunch of editors leaving DC and them being short-staffed on getting books out. I mean, I don't think this is a story that's on the level. I don't think this is just the pandemic is slowing down paper. There are shortages, absolutely. But, I mean, it just happens to coincide with the fact that you're strapped and people keep leaving your company. And that's, I mean, this story doesn't smell right to me. It's definitely going to impact people.
It's not a shortage. It's the fact that right now the prices are way up, and because the market decided to look, there's not even a wood shortage. There's just a market correction. You can buy whatever wood you want, anywhere you want. The market decided to just jack up the prices and use the pandemic as an excuse. And now it's hitting paper. And the fact is they can't get customers to accept the actual prices increases that would necessarily come with this. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely supply chain issues. People are feeling it, and it's definitely true. The titles that were missed, I mean, it is nice that they prioritized all the Batman books primarily, and other than Reptilian, where you have Liam Sharp also on Batcat, and there's probably some delays there. We mentioned on the show last night, it feels a lot more like, they're short-staffed, and it's one of those cases of, hey, did somebody get that book to the printer? Oh, nobody did, because that person doesn't work here anymore. Oh, crap, let's get the book out to the printer. That's what this feels a little bit more like to me. But
yeah,
again, I may be wrong.
I was going to say, even the way they're delaying the books, I think kind of plays into that, because just from a operational standpoint, if there were an actual short, are we seeing this with other publishers at all?
That's what I was going to say.
Not anywhere close to this level.
Just delays.
There is a massive manga shortage.
Yes.
Going on right now.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but that is, I mean, certainly some supply chain issue, and also way more demand than people expected. I mean, that's hitting on both levels. This one, there hasn't been a surge in demand; it's the same numbers. So it again, and like Yara Flor, them kind of delaying all the books kind of simultaneously and then catching up, and it just it feels like problems in the administration level a lot more than supply chain to me.
Yeah, I was
Elaine?
just gonna. Oh, go ahead.
Continue.
No, I was just gonna say, I feel like if it were just strictly supply chain issues, they instead of just having books push a week or 2 weeks here and there, you would have seen books just get postponed. You wouldn't see some of these new books coming out. They'd probably just postpone them. That's to me, that's what was telling about this whole thing.
Lade says, so with the delays in filler artists, is the DC Wonder Girl series about to go to cancellationville by issue 10? Poor Yara Flor and the Yara Gang. Perch, I've never been so disappointed.
Sure.
How could they execute this any more poorly for Yara Flor and the Yara Gang?
People were excited about Yara Flor and her butt, and they completely dropped the ball on that. It is confusing. I mean, Julie Jones off the book on issue 4, right, which I know is going to be a blow to some people as well. But it's weird. That was one of the successes they had coming out of Future State. There was genuine excitement about that character, and it's just been bizarre how they've handled the title.
Is it going to cancellationville by issue 10? Is this a Marvel series?
I don't know. I mean, if they can't get the creative team to, I mean, again, I don't know what Jones is doing on this book long term. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it quietly fades. The numbers don't seem great. It's weird.
What are you going to do if that
shame.
happens? You were the lead. You were leading the train for the Yara Gang.
I don't know about leading to but it had good interest. It had people who that was what people were excited about.
We don't need to have a conversation about Yara and a train. It feels really weird. She's too young.
Yeah, no, it was something that people were genuinely excited about, and it was something where I think they could have built off of, and it's just they've squandered that opportunity to some extent. So it's unfortunate. I'm hoping that they can get it together. We want to see these comics out, of course.
Yeah, I mean, their marketing approach in general, even if you go back to the New Age of Heroes, it was the same thing. They introduced all these heroes, they really hyped it up for a little while, and then 3 months later, those books came out, and there was no buzz. Like, they didn't even market it, and you're kind of seeing the same thing here. Like, they announced it, there's a lot of hype, a lot of buzz, a lot of media.
Once the TV show didn't come to fruition, it's like they forgot about the character.
Even before then, they forgot about the character.
Yeah, it's sad for the Yara Gang for sure. But to your question earlier, I mean, other companies are putting out books. I mean, Biden's Titans versus Dracula is coming out this month, so they're
Stuff's
getting
good.
printed.
But the question is now, and this is what I legitimately do want to ask. The cost of paper has gone up the same way the cost of wood has gone up. And is it DC just saying we will cut back our printing rather than pay the extra price without raising our prices? The same way that I'm betting, all the other publishers just said we have to get our books out. It doesn't matter if it's 51 cents or 53 cents per copy to print these now. We don't care, just print it. Is DC in the state where they're saying, we are going to watch our pennies?
I don't think so. I mean, in September, now, granted, these delays are a different thing, but they had solicited more comics than Marvel. They have 75 books out. Marvel had 74. I think in November, they were higher by like 5 or 6 books from. I mean, they're putting out more stuff, and these books are still coming out. They're delayed, but they're still slamming the stuff out the door. I mean, and bluntly, I mean, we all remember like 52 books, and DC, that kind of weird maniacal way we got to publish 52 books, and they've blown past that. Yep. We were doing shows 6 months ago talking about DC not publishing comics in July, and was that what was going on with that rumor? They've done the opposite by a lot. I mean, and it's way too many books. I mean, and that's not a negative comment. It's way too many books. As a retailer, what do you do with 75 books? How do you?
Well, 45 of them are Batman, so you put them on one wall, the Batman wall.
That's true. The alphabetizing them makes it easy. That's true.
Everett Todd says DC needs a solid digital strategy. Everybody does nowadays.
Yeah.
And that digital strategy is following Perch to Substack with those huge grants.
Yeah, exactly. Go get the Substack money.
DC's going to go to Substack. We're abandoning print. We're going to Substack ourselves. They offered us a deal. Geek KDI.
Well, they already went to
Yes,
Yeah.
they did. King KDI says manga had paper shortages. It's still really hard to get books, but DC could use this to reduce their line as they've already reduced their staff. Could absolutely be. It could definitely be both.
DC should reduce their line. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is madness to put out this many books. So should Marvel. Image is putting out like 68 books or so in September as well. That's too many comics. You can't, as a company, properly market your books that way. You can't. I mean, you've and especially when you've then laid off half your staff. That's just you're screwing yourself. And I mean, put out Jim Lee and Daniel Cherry did this interview where they talked about less is more, and we're focusing on quality, and we're just gonna do what we could do. That's a good statement. Now actually do that statement. Your company's clearly doing the opposite.
Said we're not going to do so many events.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy.
Kenneth Dowling says, Wes, I want to give you a special shout out. Finally, somebody appreciates me. This is what I'm talking about. To you. I read Superman 78 and I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. It's by your boy Robert Venditti, who you have praised many times. I'm going to stick with it. Drew, Superman 78 was so good, wasn't it?
It was so good. I actually got it right here. I was going to talk about it later. There it is. Like I said, I met Robert and Dan down at MegaCon. I talked with Robert for a long time. He showed me some upcoming issues of Superman 78 on his laptop, and it's going to be fun. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be fun.
No.
So it feels like you're right in the movieverse, Perch, but you also get all that pre-crisis, like new Brainiac story and all that stuff bottled into a Candor. So you're talking like the 60s, like
It's
really
fun.
going back in time.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, I think, and if you're putting out 75 books, why not have a couple books that are going to be pre-crisis, appeal to that audience? Like you can afford to put 4 or 5 books in that world. Why not? That would be a smart thing to do if you're pumping out that much crap. So
I thought you were going to say if you're going to be putting out 75 books, 4 or 5 of them should be good. Like, you got a point there.
that's true too. Yeah.
Why can't 4 or 5 of them be all right? All right. So you are the DC aficionado here, Josh. What did you think of Superman 78?
I mean, look, I thought it was a lot of fun. There's definitely a lot of nostalgia here, and it's nostalgia done well. So getting that aspect to me is always like a breath of fresh air. Hell, fun comics at this point can be a breath of God, I can't talk. Breath of fresh air. I haven't even had whiskey this morning. Jesus.
There's your mistake.
I know, right? Apparently. I think the fun thing too is like reading this, it's like I can hear the actors' voices, and maybe it's because I'm already wanting to project it, but I think when you get that aspect in a book and it does seem to translate so well, like it just wakes something up inside of you, like the inner child in me. Like I remember being young and watching these movies with my brothers, and just like there's an aspect and a wholesome aspect to that it just takes me back to, and I thought it was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what else they do. And yeah, Venditti, great writer, perfect guy to be on it. When he was saying he had his dream project coming up, I was really curious what it was going to be. And then when it was announced, I was like, oh yeah, of course. Like who wouldn't want to do this? So loved it.
Anyone else read Batman or Superman 78?
No, but
Yeah,
I'm waiting for it.
Oh, you're going to love it. It's so good. Doc, you didn't read it?
No, I have no interest in it. Sorry. Not my thing.
Oh, you don't like fun. That's nice.
Yeah,
It was so
I
funny.
hate fun.
Robert was telling us that it's like after Superman 3 and 4, the bar wasn't really that high for me to write a good comic based on this universe. So, that's fair enough.
Or Superman Returns.
Superman 3 was a treasure. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the one with drunk Superman?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was amazing. That is my Superman right there. That is the impetus behind my show, my personality, everything. Superman just getting wasted and like slamming peanuts into a mirror, flying around just screwing stuff up. That's the Superman we deserve.
You love Zack Snyder's DCU, don't you?
No, because he's not drunk.
He's not drunk enough. Callum Lyle says, I think Yara 4 should have been a sidekick first and then a standalone series because it doesn't seem like she has a purpose, but I could be wrong. We got a point there, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about this last week, 2 weeks ago. Like, publishers need to reapproach how they're introducing characters and do this whole like backdoor pilot type thing. Build them up in another book first, then give them a mini series. Like, you want to build that audience before you just expect an audience to jump on a new book with a new character. And then it goes back to what I was saying a second ago. Make sure you have a purpose for this character. Like, if you're going to push it, there needs to be a reason for that character to exist. And just being like, oh, they're going to love it because she's our Latina Wonder Woman. Like, it's going to do exactly what happened. It's going to catch some buzz. People are going to see that there's no substance there, and then it's going to fade.
Yes.
Well, that's
I mean, with Batman, I mean, you have Yara Flor, you have Hippolyta, her mom now is Wonder Woman in the Justice League series, and you have
Nubia.
Nubia. It's like, what's going on here? It's just,
Did you say Nubia?
I
W?
I can't talk because I can't talk either.
That's what I'm calling her from now on. That was perfect.
But you could have. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Doc.
No. I was going to say, like, that's kind of how we've historically introduced successful characters by building them up. And then when they actually get popular enough, then you let them have their own series. Then you let them go off and do their own thing. But you can't just mandate it from day one. It's the weird thing it's weird obsession that publishers have where they think they get to be the tastemaker. They don't.
All right. That's odd. We got Comic Quirks wanting to talk about wood shortage. Just cut down more trees.
We're talking about wood. I thought that was the after hour show.
The aficionados after hours. We talk about all things wood. It's probably more difficult than that, Quirks. It probably has something to do with energy costs and stuff like that. I'm not sure. I'm in the Philippines.
I know what I can say from my industry, my day job. You have a lot of like production houses that are making stuff as far as using raw materials and labors. They're still running on shorter staffs. Here in the States, you have a lot of people that are understaffed because they're trying to get people to work, and struggling with that. We're not to get political. We're giving a lot of money out. And then, you just have different issues. Like we're talking about costs, and then you have companies that haven't been making the money that they're used to making. So they don't have the money to spend to buy these supplies, and these supplies are more expensive. So it's a sick cycle that hopefully we'll start seeing some rebounds.
And additionally, there's the issue with all the port bullshit, especially on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, especially like Long Beach.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
There's this, by the way, there's a big chat that's been going around comics and everything, and this number of DC putting out more books in September. It is true DC has kind of a fifth week, but they ship on Tuesday, so it's not counted. In fact, if you take the DC books for August and you count them into September, they're even further ahead of Marvel. It's even more bizarre, and it's not a case where Marvel's shipping fewer books. They're shipping about the same. It's DC is ramped up, and Image is really ramped up. I mean, and even IDW is like putting out close to 30 books. It's just a lot. And I say this, and sometimes people are like, oh, you're being too negative, and it's like, not at all. It's just, I mean, you guys who are on the panel, like this is a lot of books to sift through every week. Yep. Like customers can't navigate this with what they're given.
No.
YouTubers can't keep up with all the comics that are coming out. I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're talking about comics in general. Like even at Batman News, we have people coming to us saying, I like this. What Batman book should I get? And it's kind of like, dude, there's so many just in Batman alone that once you start trying to go to comics in general, and I know my LCS, they struggle with just like, okay, what am I going to buy to put on the shelf? What am I picking and choosing? It's just way too much.
Feels like a desperate last gasp from a bunch of stuff, just throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks now.
Yep.
But that's just me.
I mean, it's a topic for another time. Be a good one to spend actually a lot of time on is like, why are they doing this? Like they're spending money to do it. They're having to go through the coordination of editors working with people to get this stuff out. It's easy to kind of make some guesses to Marvel, DC, but then why is Boom doing this? Why is Dark Horse trying to ramp up right now? It's they're trying to meet demand, but when you look at the sales figures, it's the demand's not there to. It's just the demand doesn't speak to let's double our line. The demand might speak to let's focus and market. That would be great, but
I think a lot of it. Well, never mind. This is a topic for another time.
Yeah, we should hit this sometime. It'd be fun to do.
All right. Well, Kenneth says, I'm not a huge Supes fan, but it's nice to read a Superman comic that feels like Superman. Christopher Reeve is my favorite Superman. Superman the movie is in my top 10 superhero movies. I just don't like Superman the movie all that much. I like Superman 2. Does that make me weird?
No. I mean,
genre
Superman
cut.
2 was
I like
supposed to
watching
be.
the genre cut.
Yeah.
I mean, they were
I
supposed to be like one right after the other. They were trying to film them simultaneously, so I think it fit.
Yeah, the end for 1 was supposed to be the ending for 2 if you watch the Donner cut. So yeah.
Man, that's crazy. But absolutely loved it. Is Christopher Reeve your favorite Superman, Drew?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I grew up watching him, the George Reeves on Nick at Night. But Dean Cain was also my Superman growing up, watching Lois and Clark and watching it. But it's always been Christopher Reeve still to this day. He epitomizes what Superman is. He's a friend. That's what he is.
Yep.
My number 2 Superman is the one on the Superman and Lois show right now because I think he kind of hits it perfect.
Yeah, a lot of it comes into writing. I think if we'd gotten a better Superman for the DCU, I think we'd hear a lot more buzz about that. But it's just a dour Superman. But yeah. Tyler Hoechlin, he's doing he's lucky enough that he's presenting it well and he's getting good writing. So kudos to him. And if you haven't watched the show, you should go watch it.
Yeah, the first episode was really good. The pilot, I did like that. I haven't had a chance to watch the rest.
Every time I invest in a CW show, in the second or third season, it turns into Dawson's Creek, which I like, but I don't want that with superheroes.
Yeah. I mean, clearly we're going to have to wait and see what the next seasons are going to be like. But for this season, you can tell that they actually went back to putting some care and some thought and effort into it. Not like, what chaos can we put on the screen?
Like who can hook up in this episode?
Right.
The pilot episode with Tyler, one scene I did like, it's like the very beginning is when he saved the kid, saved him from the car. He's like, thanks for my mom made it for me. I'm like, that's perfect. That's Superman right there.
It is. That was so quintessentially Superman, just like this happy, fun guy. He almost bordered to being Shazam right there, but not quite.
King KDI is going to get us back on target. He says more people are reading and staying at home, but pumping out more books could be for movies and TV pitches more than comics, including Dark Horse and Image.
Yeah, this is definitely a conversation for a different time, but
definitely got a point there.
That's what we've done.
If we talk about this stuff enough, is it time to get in some recommendations and call this bad boy over?
Yeah, I think so.
It's time. I've enjoyed it so much. We were going to talk about Superman 78 in detail, but we already got pretty much to that anyway. Let's do some comic book recommendations. I had a really good time here. Kerry, what are you doing over there at Nerdygirlcreates? Is there any special things that you're putting up today or this week?
Well, Monday I have Manga Monday reviews, and I'm actually going to dive into Demon Hunter.
Nice.
So it's actually.
And if they come into your comments and troll you, will you appreciate that?
Yeah, of course.
There you go. Go over there and troll Kerry at Nerdygirlcreates. There's a link to her YouTube channel. What do you recommend people read this week?
Well, I did pick up a bunch of comics from Alterna, and I like Tinseltown and also Can't Kill Cabe. Plus, online, I'm reading that South Korean comic, Solo Leveling. It's really good.
Solo Leveling, is that free?
I found it for free online.
I saw a mouth thing there. Well, maybe you could find it for free, apparently. So that's we got some Alterna comics and Solo Leveling. So Drew over at Comics Elite, you guys, I think you're going to be back next weekend, correct?
Correct. Yes.
You got any big cons coming up? We got the Ice Cream Man covers. Are those sold out?
The Frank Uzan one. Frank misspelled his last name. We had to fix that. It's Frank Uzan, but that one, I think within minutes we were down to like 5 copies of that one. But they're doing very well. The Nathan Zerdy is doing very well. But and thank you for putting those up. Appreciate it. Yeah.
And if people want to check out Comics Elite, what's the next con you guys are going to be at?
We're going to be at in somewhere. Form will be down at the one in Miami. I think that's Awesome Con. We're going to be there. But we're going to the two big ones we're going to be at are at Dallas and New York. We will be there. So we're going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how locked down New York Comic Con is going to be.
Man, you're gonna have to hook up with Joe. Go out for a pizza or something while you're up there.
Yeah, sounds good to me. But
we
recommendations this week, I would say Symbiote Spider-Man Crossroads, really damn good. Echolands from Image Comics. This
That's a good book.
J.H. Williams. Holy crap. This is some of the best work he's done. And of course, Superman 78.
Echoland?
Echolands. Yeah.
All right. That was on him. I did not read that one. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. And we got Callum Lyle. What about Superman who makes fun of Tom King? Is there a Superman who makes fun of Tom King? Because I think that would be beautiful. What's that?
Dean Cain.
Oh, yeah. he's good. Dean Cain was great as Superman with, was it Terry Hatcher?
Yep.
Absolutely. That was a great show. Very well said, my friend. We got Kenneth Dowling. Comic book recommendation: Spider-Man Spider Shadow #5, Spider-Man Life Story Annual #1, Superman 78, Thor 15. Have a great day, folks. All wonderful recommendations. And thank you very much for supporting the channel and being with us here today, Kenneth. Really appreciate it. There we go. Who else we got next? We got anything interesting coming out of Popeye Culture there or BatmanNews.com, Josh?
I mean, Batman News. I'm swimming in Batman content. Like, we are so freaking busy and looking at November and cringing. Yeah, we've got some book club books that we filmed. We're trying to get those edited, and we'll announce that. So we have some like video footage coming out. Popeye Culture. I've been in a Shang-Chi spiral, reading a lot of Shang-Chi books, which are they're there.
Okay,
some of them are good. But
A lot of the older ones, the really older ones like Doug Monick and Paul Gulacy, really good.
Yes, Doug Mink's books is definitely there. That's going to be where you want to dip your toes into if you decide to pick up some books, and we'll have coverage of that as the movie's coming out. As for this week, I'm a little behind. I did a lot of DC stuff. I definitely recommend Robin. I thought that Robin was this week, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a damn good comic book.
Yes, Robin was a lot of fun. Check it out. I'm gonna definitely push That Texas Blood by Condon and Phillips. Like, I'm still enjoying that. It's a great read if you're into indie books. And I have Echolands on my read pile. It looks beautiful, and I love that it's turned. It's not how you traditionally read a comic. So that.
Can you read a comic in landscape? Is it even a comic anymore? It's a flip book.
I mean, when I flipped through it, it kind of reminded me of like the old, like how they used to set up the digital first comics for DC, like where everything is kind of that horizontal frame. Yeah. So, those would be my picks. And then if I read anything else, I'll let you guys. Oh, I picked up Dark Blood, but I have not read it yet. So
it's also on my list.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. There you go.
All right, Perch. What's going on over at Comics by Perch? You got any big interviews going on? You got any good roasts? I know you like to do the comedy segments.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. We got plenty of stuff coming in, and Joe and I are gonna put our heads together and come up with some good comic ideas, which I know people always love it when we come up with comic pitches. So we're gonna do those. That'll be lots of fun. We do have some interviews coming up with some good people that I probably should do the interview first before naming them, but we do have some good people coming up that you'll like to hear from. But there's some good comics out this week. I like Amazing Fantasy. I do like what Cart Andrews is doing over there. I like the way Nick Spencer's wrapping up Spider-Man. I think it's solid. I kind of wish we would have gotten to this a year ago, but it's some good stuff. Reptilian is good this week. Hey, nobody's mentioned Mother of Madness #2. I mean, come on, that book's out. Anyway.
It exists.
It exists. It's there. King Spawn was good to see Todd expanding his line and trying to put some material out. That was exciting. We talked about Superman 78. A lot of stuff. This was the best of the Captain Americas so far, I think, of the 3 issues. I know that's not a high bar, but this one was at least tried to explain what the fuck was going on. Symbiote Spider-Man is there. I mean, there's some good comics in here. Oblivion Song was out this week. That was good. Ice Cream Man, and I hope to see. It sounds like I wasn't necessarily planning on it, but I am going to go to New York Comic Con, so I'll be able to see some people there, and we can have a party.
Oh, man. That's going to be fun. Absolutely. That's going to be great. Wish I could be there, but maybe next year. We'll see what happens. We've got Comics Exposed. Hey, what's up with the recount from Scout Comics? I've been loving that series. It's only got 3 issues. Is there any more coming? Perch, do you know?
I'm on their list, and I talked to them. I haven't seen any more coming, but it's a good series. I mean, Scout does have some good stuff out there. I wish more people would pay attention to them.
You haven't heard anything, have you, Drew?
No, I haven't. It just when we get their stuff, it's just fluctuates when we get their stuff, and see what happens. Maybe.
All right. Well, we got Infamy or Death. I believe well-known associate of Dan Slott. He's not even blocked. I recommend King Spawn, Batman Reptilian. Started reading Betty Page, Curse of the Banshee. Didn't get Beckstar. It was too late this week. I blame Joe.
A lot of Beckstar delays. Beckstar was good this week. I forgot. I apologize. Yeah, you sent me that comic a while ago. It's messing with the timeline here, but it's a very good book. But there were delays. A bunch of stores said this up here in Seattle.
It seems like some stores get it one week and then everybody else gets it the next week. It's almost like 50-50. Been a little off. But thank you very much for supporting the channel. And he's not well-known associate at Dan Slott. He's just isn't blocked. We got Old School Comics, Aftershock Comics, Clayton Bellari, 1 and 2 were good read. Next, DC versus Marvel, Newsboy Legion versus Rick Jones, and the Teen Brigade. Now that sounds good. Is that good, Perch?
I mean, yeah. I mean, sure.
It sounds terrific.
I mean, it sounds terrific, yeah.
Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Who else we got? Doc, what are you doing in Pittsburgh? You going to the wrestling show?
I wish, dude.
Going to the script club?
No. I'm actually trying to get all the shit done that I didn't do from being out of town for 3 weeks. So basically, I'm cutting the grass. It sucks. Kill me. Just kill me. No, this week I think I'm recommending Cable Reloaded #1, which was a fun story. ASM 72. I am going to recommend. I really enjoyed it. I've really liked where this whole thing's going. I am going to recommend, even though I haven't finished reading it yet, King Spawn #1, but I recommend the Brett Booth cover. And I know that if you read, if you're just sitting there reading Beckstar #4, you could just see how sexy the writer is.
It's true.
Absolutely.
It just comes off the page.
So. Absolutely. It's definitely be reading those. Thank you very much, Doc. So you guys have covered a lot of them, but you missed maybe the best comic book this week outside of Superman 78, Barbaric #3.
Oh, that was really
absolutely fantastic. That is like one of the bloodiest, funniest comics out there. Michael Moriarty is absolutely destroying it on that damn comic book. Unfortunately, it's over. The first arc is 3 issues, and then it's going to continue next year.
I was going to say, I mean, the way they left it, I'm like, I want this. I better get this next story the way they ended it.
No, it's going to continue, but it's going to be in 2022, unfortunately. So if you want to catch up on Barbaric, do it. It's absolutely hilarious. That one's a great series. And the other one I'll recommend is I think this is from, oh man, what's it? Is it Mad Cave that's doing 7 Swords?
Oh no, that's Aftershock.
Aftershock Comics, 7 Swords. Yeah, if you like the 3 Musketeers and kind of a 3 Musketeers based comic book, lots of action, lots of I don't know, like flirtations and things of that nature. It's a lot of fun, and it's definitely well worth your time. And that will be the show for this week. Does anyone have any alibis before we say this? Before we say goodbye today?
Any alibis?
That is a no. Thank you all very much.
I didn't pick a fight with a foreign country this week, so that's a step in the right direction.
I've got
Are you from Britsburg, Doc? Britsburg?
Pittsburgh.
What? Get
Britsburg.
Rodimus Henry.
Brittany, what's her name? Dr. Britt Baker, MD, right?
Oh, well, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much. Salamat. We'll be here next week.
Cheers.
Wash your ass.
Bye.
Oh, my goodness.